Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 129. We brought some extra people in because Sean isn't going to be on tonight, and then Nate has to go somewhere like halfway through the podcast. So we came prepared, brought some extra people. So let me go from left to right here on my screen. Max is back with us, Dreamcast guy. What's going on, man?
Dude, this is a celebration week. I am obsessed with Link's Awakening. The remake is so good it feels like a new game. I'm sure it's good to like half this podcast, so I won't dwell on it now, but hell yeah.
Okay, then we got OJ. What's going on, man? Player Essence.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Just like Max said, dude, been a crazy week. Got a Switch Lite. Got all sorts of games that I've been playing. I've actually been playing
Turquoise?
games. Yeah, Turquoise Boys in the house.
Oh no! Everyone got turquoise
because it looks so sexy.
They did.
I got the
It's a sexy
invisible one.
color. What'd you get, Miss Click?
I got the invisible one.
Oh, okay.
I have the gray one.
That's too boring, John.
Yeah,
I
that's
still got the
what.
blue. I got the blue one, but that was the one that came apart.
It is darker in person, isn't it? The gray one.
Yeah, it is. It's I have it on
Yeah.
this grip, the Satisfy.
That's what everybody
grip.
was saying.
Yeah, it's a little darker.
Oh, that's nice. That's
I like it. It's nice. It has like the white accent on it.
Yeah,
like, yeah. So it came out nice, and it actually works well with the Satisfy grip. Satisfy grip's actually gray and white. Oh, we have Miss Click. Miss Click is our celebrity for tonight. She was on Twitch's homepage yesterday, apparently.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
So
it was fun.
She had all kinds of people dropping into her stream and everything. But yeah, on the front page of Twitch. So congratulations there.
Thank you.
Then we got Jordan. Jordan Fringe, what's going on, man?
Glad to be here.
Good. And then Nate is here for a little bit. What's up, Nate? How's it going?
All hail the goose.
Yeah. I figured it would be all about the Goose Game, man.
I played the Goose Game too. I got some stuff to say about that.
I played it a little. I stopped playing Link's Awakening for a little bit to play it, so I played it as well. Then Rax, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing? How's the channel going?
The laugh.
It's great.
Is it? Okay.
I believe all those words.
Oh man, boy, is it great.
Sounds like the average YouTube content creator to me, man. Everything's going great.
It's so great. I've surpassed great.
You reminded me of that dog that's burning in that house.
Rex the Amazing. Yeah.
Everything's fine.
This is okay.
Everything's okay.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, like obviously, like YouTube is not my main gig. I've been spending a lot of time at work, so I've had to put the channel on, the back burner until I can get myself some new employees.
Okay, fair enough. And then Evan, what's going on? What's going on tonight?
Not much, just busy all week.
You still on Daemon X Machina?
On and off, yeah. I'm up to 40 hours now, but
Jeez, nice. Nice. And we have MVG, Modern Vintage Gamer, with us tonight.
What's up? Thanks for having me back.
Me talking some. He took the Switch Lite apart as well. So
I did. And I finished Untitled Goose Game.
You finished. It sounds like
yeah.
it's like 4 or 5 hours, right?
Yeah, you can finish it pretty easily in one
It depends
playthrough.
how you play it, but
That's true. I did go through the game pretty quickly, but
Okay.
That's
Very
awesome.
Very cool. So let me go. Let's see because everyone was holding up their Switch. Who got a Switch Lite this week? Let's see. I know OJ, 1, 2, Max, Jordan. Okay. Yeah, it's actually quite a few of us. Nate, I can't see you. I'm assuming you did not get it. No, I didn't think you would grab it. No. What's everyone think of the Switch Lite so far?
It's smoothed out in ways that I feel like I couldn't tell from the promotional videos. Like it feels like one big controller, and that really works. And I feel like they should advertise that more. It feels really, really, really good.
Yeah. Okay.
It's light. That's what I like the most about it, which makes it. I mean, it makes sense, right? Nintendo Switch Lite, but like you can think, light on features. Yeah, it's not doesn't have as much, but like the weight of it is just so much more comfortable to play. You guys know me; I'm a super nerd. I like playing my RPGs, and sometimes I'm too lazy just to look at the TV all day and do that. I lie down in my bed in my my bedroom, and I lie down and I play Ni no Kuni and other games. It's great for that. It's really good. The display's nice. It's a lot better than I thought. To be honest, it's a lot better than I thought it would be. I just thought that this was just going to be a thing for kids, parents, hey, just buy this. But I'm actually like, I legit, like it's actually, I'm going to keep this. I was actually going to just give it away after I unboxed it, but I'm just going to buy another one and give it away. I'm going to keep this one for myself.
Nice.
Okay.
I agree. I think they're awesome. Like the moment that I took it out of the box, I was like, "Holy shit, this is legit." This thing. I'm very impressed with it. Very impressed.
It's really solid. Like the current Switch, if you kind of move it in your hand, it'll kind of like creak a little bit because the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
This one, it's just like one piece, so it's really solid. And the plastic is like a matte finish kind of.
Yes,
but it
the
has
matte.
texture to it.
And
Yes.
you know, Spawn Wave, how many screws is inside that thing? That nothing's moving in that thing at all. Like everything is bolted down really good.
There's a lot of screws in this thing.
How's the D-pad? Because I've heard mixed.
The D-pad's good for, I would say, platformers. And anything 2D that needs.
What's the main thing? Does it just not feel like pinpoint or something? Or
the points inside are far apart and they're kind of small, so rolls would be harder.
Got you. Okay.
I think it's really, really accurate, and that's good. But yeah, I am a little bit nervous since it is ever so slightly one of those squishy D-pads. I'm afraid if I played a hardcore fighting game on this, I'm afraid I may break this. And if I break it, obviously I can't just replace a Joy-Con.
Yeah, I would say it's set up like for Mario, for example, like Mario, like 2D Mario or something.
I was playing some Super Nintendo games with it.
On the
perfect
Lite,
for Super Nintendo. Most of them were pretty good. I didn't try everything. I mean, I certainly didn't try any fighting games, but Mario was good. Metroid played really well. Most of the Super NES games played really good.
Well, I can try the Mega Man, the X Legacy collection on it, so I gotta try. That would actually be interesting to see.
I actually tried SteamWorld Dig 2. Went back to that's actually my favorite indie game on the Switch. And I was playing that game. I played through that game a lot, about halfway through that game because it's not super long, and it worked great on there. The only thing is, like, I guess for me, I'm not really sure, but whenever I do play it, it contorts my thumb. I don't know if it's because of my hand, how big my hands are. But I don't know.
You want one of these?
Yeah, I probably want a grip. It'll make it, it'll be better. But it just works weird.
It makes it so that your thumb isn't like bent like this.
Yeah,
add something extra so your thumb's straight the entire time you're using it.
I don't know what it is.
I need one of those too, because otherwise, like if you're holding it, like your thumb ends up being like that.
You got big hands too, John?
Like medium-sized hands, I'd say, but they're big enough to where you're doing this the whole time when I'm using it.
As somebody, I have dainty women hands, and I gotta say this thing is perfect. It's just they're so delicate. It's like made for my princess mitts. It's great.
Princess mitts, I like it.
You're beautiful. Oh my god.
I've got huge basketball player hands, so
yeah, you can talk to Satisfy about it. They actually get one out to you so you can check it out on your channel.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He actually we both went to Fresno State together, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, talk to him about the new one for the Lite's actually pretty cool. Check that out. Definitely. But yeah, I like it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool to see going into the holidays. $200. Apparently Nintendo had to fight to get the pricing to that point, allegedly. From what people were writing about manufacturers. So it seems like Nintendo wanted that $200 pricing, and I guess we'll find out sales for Japan next week at least. But I have a feeling it was pretty high. So
it's gonna kill it. It's gonna kill it in Japan.
I'm gonna be curious how many people buy it as their second system as well. That'll be interesting.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'm sure the numbers are going to prove me. This is going to end up being the best-selling model of the Switch. By the time we get whatever comes next, this is going to outsell the standard Switch. Literally, I'll bet somebody $100. I guarantee.
I think you're right.
Do you feel that it should have been able to dock somehow still? Or do you like the fact that it has no capability whatsoever?
I do wish it had an ability because I'm a huge Vita fan. I love my Vita and I love my PSP. And part of the reason I love my PSP is because I can play it on TV optionally. Whereas it really did annoy me when it came to the Vita, especially because so many PSP games worked on my Vita with less functionality. The fact that this is cheaper is great, but less functionality, you definitely notice it.
You know what's interesting is they probably could have had it dock, like it has the heatsink for it. It has like the same size fan pretty much and everything. They removed the chip that it needs to do it, so they just took it out of there.
I was gonna say, so they can't just sell an adapter or something and make that capable later, right? Like it's just not in there. Right?
The way it would probably end up working is like Nate, you have that Switch that records handheld, and they have this big thing attached. They have the thing attached to the back of it, right? And it runs HDMI separately.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard modded.
Yeah, that's probably what would have to happen to this to even be like modded for TV out or anything. You'd have to like run all of these cables. It'd be like how people get those 3DS systems. It'd be like that where they're pulling video from different parts of the board and everything. So unfortunately, it's probably never going to happen. But hey, I mean, it's I guess that's just Nintendo wanted to separate it completely. And I mean, I guess this replaces the 3DS at this point. Even if they say it doesn't, I think it does. So I don't think they're gonna be able to convince people otherwise. But I also was able to set it up as like a second system. I think I made it my primary, so I doesn't have to check in online, and then I made my docked Switch the secondary. But that was actually pretty straightforward. I don't know. I pulled the save stuff. That was about it. It was easy. So
really, because I feel like there've been a couple people, at least, complaining about it, how you have to go in individually and bring
you have to go in and you got to pick each save. Like if I'm like I want to get my Link's Awakening save from there, I have to go into the cloud and hit.
Is it like a batch, or do you have to like wait for each one individually to load through?
You can queue them. You can just say like do, but they do take a second. I as an experiment when I was doing my review, I actually did it from a mobile hotspot just to see, like, say I go to the airport and I don't actually have like good Wi-Fi, could I just still pull it from the cloud? It works. It's definitely it's not instant.
Got you.
Yeah, but it was easy enough, I guess. Like I'm going to a convention, I think in Texas, next month. So I'll probably just take this Lite with me. And
Retropalooza?
That is the plan. As long as everything goes as it should, then yes, I should be there.
Oh, cool. That's across the street from my house, so you can come chill.
Yeah. What's that? What's that? You'd be going. So, we'll have some fun. That'll be a fun weekend. So I'm liking it. I'll be curious if they have any other colors outside of the special Pokemon. They missed out big time by not having a Link's Awakening Switch Lite.
Yeah, I agree.
It should look like a Game Boy. Oh, I'd buy 5.
Oh man, could you imagine? Oh dude, Breath of the Wild 2. Can you imagine a Sheikah slate? Freaking Switch Lite.
They're gonna do one. They're gonna do something.
Yeah. Dude, that's why I haven't got one, dude.
I think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna do a Link's Awakening. They're trying to double up on all of us suckers. That's what they're
like next year.
They're gonna, like in a few months, like end of the year or next year. I think they're gonna do a Link's Awakening Switch. I got Nintendo Switch Lite. They might do one and double up on us.
Hey, so far so good on the Switch Lite. We'll see what happens. I'll be curious if they try to bundle anything with it, like next year or something too, like throw a game in like a Mario Kart or something. But pretty good so far. Just in time for Pokemon, I guess, is what they were going for. So what's everyone been up to this week? What's everyone been playing? Let us know. Let me know what you guys been playing. What's everyone been up to?
Link's Awakening and Goose Game.
So tell me about Goose Game, Nate. Go ahead. You sell everybody on Goose Game.
The game sells itself. I mean, it's Untitled Goose Game. You walk around as a goose and you terrorize people, and that's the greatest sales pitch a game can ever have. And I mean, it's slapstick comedy. It's from an Australian developer, so modern vintage probably appreciates.
Yeah, from my hometown in Melbourne, Australia, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay. I was trying to. So, what's the point of opening your wings? Is there like something like so nothing?
Well, at one point one of the puzzles or one of the to-do lists, you do have to open your wings because a woman sitting at a pub, they interact with the goose and it wants you to perform certain actions, so you do have to like open your wings and just kind of show off and they get all happy and applaud the goose. But otherwise, it's just kind of like an intimidating factor. Like you can terrorize a nerdy kid who's playing with his soccer ball and you chase the thing. He calls a panic and like the store owner comes out and you're just like, "What's up, kid?" Like, you're going back in and you make them trip in a puddle and stuff.
There is a single button for honking too.
Yeah, that's the greatest button in gaming.
You know what I really like about the game is like the animations and the visuals actually look really good in the game.
So
like, everything's really fluid. Like nothing has like an outline around it at all. It's all like this pastel kind of colors. It looks nice. It looks really good. It's supposed to be basically like it's like a sandbox, right? So there's no loading screens really when you're walking around or anything.
Yeah, the whole village is all streamed. It's you just move area to area. It's all one. The entire village is connected. You just have to unlock how to get to those other areas.
Okay.
So as you're playing, you gain access to these spots.
Yeah, I played like the first like hour of it, which apparently is a quarter of the game, according to Modern Vintage Gamer. So
it's kind of, if you do all the to-do list of the 4 regions. It'll probably take about 2.5 to 3 hours. But after you do that, I guess you could say you completed the main game. You'll unlock additional pages of to do, and then you'll have like a speed run challenge where you have to go through like the garden before the bell tolls, and then it just adds like new tasks. Like, oh, instead of just doing the picnic, now you have to also get the cabbage, and it builds off what you already did. All the areas are unlocked, so you can go to wherever you want and do the to-do list at your own, leisure. If you want to terrorize neighbors, you can do that and steal
the first thing you do is when you get there, they just have like a picnic basket and like food right next to the pond. So you just throw that stuff all in the water right away. Everybody did. Nobody walked past that, right?
I walked past it just to steal the guy's radio.
Well, but you didn't just like the first thing I did was just like, I'm just gonna start throwing this stuff in the water. That didn't come in. You walk
because I'm kind of like, I was like, there has to be another screen to tell me what to do, because I need to see what else is beyond this oddly placed picnic with nobody here.
You're like, this is a trap. This is a goose trap.
It's not bad. I mean, it's $15, so it's not bad. I'll be curious because it is so different. I wonder if they'll do anything at any of the Game Awards shows or anything for it.
Oh my god, I love it.
What if it'll pop up anywhere?
Hopefully, it should. It should get awarded something. Whether
for what?
It's Game of the Year. It's the best game.
What should it get awarded for, Nate?
Game of the Year.
Game of the Year.
I mean, I do think that best indie game this year is going to be really weird. I feel like there's been a lot of like experimental projects, and that's kind of what this stuff like Katana Zero, like games that don't quite fit into one genre. That all came out. I played a weird indie RPG a couple months ago. Like, there's just a lot of cool stuff that's coming out that's not. It's definitely indie, but it's definitely nobody's just trying to copy Mario anymore. People are finally like really going crazy. So I want to see Goose Game on stage.
It is pretty creative.
It's a game that expanded what people think of like as a game. It's something completely new. It's not just another indie game of, we're going to make a retro style platformer. This is a game where you're a goose. And you're terrorizing a village of people. What? You're stealing a woman's bra. And then you're ringing a bell. You're making a guy spit out his tea. And then you're picking up a bar of soap. And you're ruining all his laundry. Or you're pushing his rose next to hedge clippers. And the guy gets all sad because you ruined his prize rose. And he sits there and weeps.
Nate, you making the game sound worse, bro. Just stop, all right? We know you like the game.
That's selling me. Every new person he talks about like giving PTSD to, I suddenly want to pre-order it.
And the game does have a story.
I saw that.
It does have a story, and it comes full circle, and it's like, holy shit, that's actually hilarious.
I saw OJ play a little bit of it. He seemed unsure the whole time.
I was very confused with this game. It seems like it's going to be like there's objectives, there's stealth, there's stuff that you can do, right? You got like metal goose solid stuff in there. I mean, it's all right. Like there's some cool stuff in there, but man, like I wasn't expecting what I was expecting. Nate's right though. I mean, to get to like the joking aside, the game actually is pretty cool. With some like the mechanics and the stuff that you can do, it is very different, and it's not just copying. Okay, let's just make a pixelated, 2D side-scrolling game, blah blah blah. Let's just do, oh my gosh, a rogue game, like those things. Ugh. But anyway, it's not just one of those. It's actually trying something different. It's trying something new. So I mean, maybe like I don't know if they have like innovation awards or something like that, but there is really nothing like I don't know if I love Goose Game. I know I don't hate it, but I don't know if I love it. I'm not even sure. I don't know if I can even recommend it. It's just like, it's something just like, if you're a douchebag, you might want to play this game. Like, if you're someone who likes to troll and stuff like that.
Are you saying MVG and I are douchebags?
Yeah, well, I mean, Nate, listen, I'm just saying, if you're someone who's annoying and a troll, you might love this game because all you're doing is trolling people 24/7 in this game, which is kind of cool.
Nate is the heel of the podcast. So
the goose walks around, he even looks at the people, and he has like swagger. He's like, "Yeah, bitch, I stole your gold. What are you gonna do about it?" They just stare at him like, "You cheap."
He's like, "Yeah."
He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah." What are you gonna do? And they chase him. He's like, "Bitch, please."
It's like press
honk.
Says press A to steal yo girl.
What do you think, MVG? You played through it.
Yeah, I really like the game. There's something really just enjoyable about the whole experience, and there's some calming presence about the whole game when you pick it up and play. I think it's awesome. I mean, something that's a little different, a little out there, and you get to kind of mess with people. You get to mess with different things in the game. I'm a fan of the game, and maybe I'm a little biased because, like I said, it was developed by a dev shop that's in my hometown. But I really dig the game. I think it's awesome.
Okay. What about Jordan? Playing?
I played about an hour of Link's Awakening, and then the rest of my free time this week has gone to Borderlands still.
So I'm about halfway through Borderlands. Okay, I've been playing.
Halfway, meaning halfway. What level are you?
23.
Right, okay.
About halfway through. I got
Roughly. Close.
I got all the pieces, and I think I got to go get them again.
Okay, so you've done the first thing. Now you're moving on to the next one.
Yes.
You're on planet 4 now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's why I think I'm halfway done. So yeah, but then Link's Awakening came out, so I had to put it down until I finished Link's Awakening. But I do like Borderlands. Borderlands is good. Borderlands 2 is really fun.
Good.
It's more Borderlands. It's more Borderlands.
It's more Borderlands in a weird way. Like the more you play, the more open it gets. Like the other Borderlands games are just open from the get-go. These kind of streamline the areas where it's open, but it's kind of like leading you on a path, like go this way. You have narrow areas, and it's about verticality. Then later on, as you're getting towards the later half of the game, you start going back to places, and they open up, and there's just more to explore in larger areas. And it's really impressive how much they can render in to these areas now before you get to another area to have to go through a loading screen.
I am getting some bugs here though, Jordan. Okay,
what
just like Gears, kind of like
I've
Gears.
got a few bugs.
Some freezing. Or just
really, you've gotten some freezing.
And I had to restart the Xbox One X again.
Yikes!
That happened, I think, 3 times so far through my.
See, I haven't had that yet.
Oh, okay.
Have they patched the game at all?
Yeah, because they nerfed.
Yeah,
a few
there was an update. What, 2
Yeah.
days ago or something like that?
Yeah, I saw it,
maybe go back to the main menu. It said we'll install the updates.
Yes, they had like stability and some other stuff. So maybe that's fixed it since then. That was I did that update like the day before Link's Awakening came out. So Thursday. So I haven't tested it enough, but I like it. I had the gun where you shoot it, and when it runs out, you throw the gun, and it rockets propels at people. And
that's a great one.
Yeah.
So 3 of my 4 guns right now I all have is legendary is equipped.
Okay.
Because they've been wrecking. I'm at a really hard boss fight right now, and I find that the game kind of ramps up certain levels depending on. I can't confirm it obviously until I do a second playthrough or see other people's playthroughs of like certain levels for enemies. But it feels like a bunch of enemies. Like I do all these other side missions so I can level up and be prepared for these harder fights. And then when I get to the harder fights, all the enemies are fine. But then you get to like the boss fight, and that boss fight is automatically the same level as you are, or 1 level higher. And I'm like, how? Like I prepared for this. I just went and did all these missions. I should be ready. It shouldn't be this hard. So I'm kind of interested to see if it has a scaling thing or not, regardless if it matters if you do the side quests to level up before boss fights or not.
My theory is, so in Borderlands 3, the more people you're playing co-op with, it actually gives you more enemies to fight, to make it where you don't just burn people down, and that way the enemies just aren't stronger. Each one, they make them a little bit stronger, and they make more of them. Maybe the game is balanced for full parties because you'd be getting more experience because you're killing more stuff, so you'll be higher level when you fight the bosses. I don't know. It definitely seemed like when I was playing it with more players, it felt a lot smoother. Boss encounters and stuff, like it seemed like even if we were getting downed a lot, we were able to rescue each other. It seems like it's tailored towards 4, and solo or 2-man, it just doesn't feel quite the same.
Yeah, and the thing with Borderlands, I always do it solo first to get my own pace experience at it. And because I have a group of people on PC waiting for me to play, and they keep hounding me, and I just haven't had time because of between editing work and then playing the game. I haven't been able to fully beat it yet. But in the other games, like, yeah, you have other people, the enemies get harder, things scale up, but it just kind of feels like they're doing some sort of scaling for single player. And because it's like, it's not just this one time, it's every time I fight a boss. It's every time I get to a certain area, all the enemies are a few lower level than me because I leveled up and I did all this other stuff. Get to the boss, he's automatically a level higher. no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. Now that I think about it, yeah, I guess. But
And it's not like oh, he's level 20 because that's a boss level. No, it's like I'll be level 30 and the boss is now level 31. And it's like, oh, okay, that's a weird number that the boss should be at. Why is 31 his, it's just weird stuff like that. It just makes it a little more challenging, which is not a bad thing. You just have to keep getting better and keep playing, and that's about it.
And then you also did Link's Awakening as well, right?
For about an hour. I'm not very far in at all.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Miss Click, what you been up to this week? You been playing?
Well, the first half of the week it was my freaking internet service. I was playing that.
Is it Comcast?
That went out.
It's always Comcast.
No, it was Spectrum, dude.
I don't know Spectrum around here. I don't think we have Spectrum around here.
No, it's old like Bright House cable, Time Warner type stuff. Nah, they like
Spectrum too.
They purposefully put a trap on my service because it was causing interference. So like I was in the middle of stream and they shut my service off, and like they force you to call. Like they don't tell you, hey, there's a problem, we should probably come out. Like they just shut it off without telling you, and then they make someone come out. So I was like, all right, whatever. I gotta waste 2 whole days. But other than that, I finally got to play Hollow Knight. So I finally, because Nintendo sent me a copy or a code for that, so I finally get to give that a go, and that's
Hollow Knight's good.
I love it. Yeah, and I'm super excited about the news for Ori. Like that's really, really cool.
Yeah,
too.
there's a demo out now for that too.
Yeah,
so I saw a lot of people playing Ori the demo. So
yeah. And then other than that, Link's Awakening, I think we're probably
okay.
I think we're at 3 instruments in now. I think we just got the bell.
Very nice. We're gonna come back to Link's Awakening because I think actually Nate, what have you been up to? All right, well, give us is the weird game Untitled Goose Game this week?
I would think so.
And Nate has some weird games.
He's waiting for that KFC dating sim.
Mostly normal games. There's Sniper Elite 3, which is a really good port for the Switch. Untitled Goose Game. And then playing the final version of Ori Definitive Edition. And it's really simple to like link your Xbox account to it, so you get those achievements. And Puzzle Quest.
Oh, I liked Puzzle Quest back in the day. I'm trying to remember where I played that. I think I played that on the PSP back in the day. I think is where I played it. I liked Puzzle Quest a lot back then.
Yeah, it's still
Still Puzzle Quest.
Weird, it's still Puzzle Quest. It has like a weird bug in it that some people are encountering, where it kind of like breaks the game. At the start of the game, after like a few missions, you can encounter like a skeleton that has like 15,000 HP, and you have like 300, so you can't possibly win.
What?
But it was only a handful of people were really encountering it, but I still think they're gonna like patch the issue.
That's weird. Okay, that's strange. All right.
Yeah, it's not really a good bug to run into.
I think I might have played it on cell phones as well at one point. That game's been on so many systems now. It's a solid game though. It's good. But you played Link's Awakening, right? Okay.
Yeah, I played about 3 hours of it.
Rax hasn't even opened it yet, apparently. Okay. I don't know. Evan, did you grab it?
Long time ago.
No, I mean, like, okay. not the worries.
No, I've watched people play it. That's
okay.
about all I need.
And then MVG, you played it as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I figured we'd go over it before Nate has to leave for the night. So what's everyone think of Link's Awakening when we go over this?
Needs some quality of life patches.
It does, but it's freaking cute.
I heard. Okay, so this is a whole thing going on online about frame rate. That was one thing I saw brought up. I think visually it looks good though. I know the resolution drops here and there, but I think overall I like the art style a lot. Art style looks awesome.
The art style looks good. The visuals look nice. I mean, it does have some weird blur effect at certain points. The resolution just plummets.
It reminds me of 3D Dot Game Heroes.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, I love that game. Yeah, that had that really weird like blur effect too for distance stuff and everything.
That's what I feel this has. Like it's very similar.
That was man. I wish they would do that game again. That'd be cool. Bring that over.
If you're trying to use peripheral, it'll really throw you off though. But mechanically, I feel like the game runs like pretty solid though. Like I like the way that when you're facing enemies, like I don't know, certain things. Like granted, using your sword and running is just never going to be a thing for remakes. But like even like the one of the minor things I really appreciated was like when you throw your shield up and you go to like block, it's like seamless between like when you're walking and whatnot. So I mean, combat feels pretty fluid too for it. So I appreciate that.
Who here beat the original Game Boy version?
Me, I have it right. Where was I? Was just playing
10
the other day.
times on
I was playing
a
on my
car
GameCube
trip
the other
across
day.
the country.
Okay, yeah. So remember how weird it was because since we only had 2 buttons, you had to manually do everything. So like you had to put on the boots. Like for the one flamethrower puzzle, you have to put on just your shield and just the boots. I love that in this remake you have everything. Like the
quality of life for the double buttons is great.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my gosh. It makes it where I speed ran that game just by accident because there's so much less menu time. And I love that. I love that it's just like, here's your whole toolkit. Fight how you want to fight. Like, here's everything. Okay, you wanna jump over. I used Rock's Feather a lot more than I normally do because in the game you couldn't use it very much since you needed to block. But now I'm flipping over everything. Man, I love it. I love it.
It is not. It was nice to have that. Like the boots get mapped to L right away. Like once you don't have to look at them, they just pick them up and throw right on L. And yeah, that's nice. You're right. I'm using the feather a lot too. I'm actually using it in combat. Like I'll jump and swipe at the same time.
Yep.
So
a lot of boss fights are still programmed to be 2D, so they don't understand when you leave the ground. So I've definitely like if an enemy like throws fire or something like the genie, I just keep flipping over it, and I'm immune to all of his attacks. I love it.
It's extremely faithful remake, I would say. Like people are comparing scenes and stuff. Yeah,
it's a perfect remake of what the game was. Like it's a 1-to-1 remake. They've captured the look, the feel of it. And I mean, it's kind of one of those issues where you captured the feel, and is that necessarily like good for the modern release? Because I know like Sean kind of touched on it in his video a little bit.
Right? Is that
modernize certain aspects of it?
Okay. There's something I did notice about the game, and I already know where to go for the game, but I thought about it and I said, well, if I didn't know where to go, it kind of reminds me of the original Zelda where it just throws you in there on the NES and you have to kind of figure it out. I noticed that. I'm like, you know what? If I didn't know that I'm supposed to go, southeast right now to the desert or something, I mean, eventually the phone booth or the phone will tell you, but even then you don't necessarily know how to get there. And I was like, man, because there's like a bush that you have to swipe and then you go underneath the you go down the steps, right?
Yes.
And then you got to complete the trading quest. And I'm like, man, you know what? If I was someone who just picked this up, never played the old one as much as I did.
You're wandering around lost,
You're wandering around a lot. And I'm like, that is something I think I get what you're saying here, Nate, as like a quality of life thing there.
Some of the... I was gonna say some of the collector stuff definitely. Like I love the secret seashells, and there's 200 of them, and I memorized where all 200 are. But you need to just randomly walk into the store and randomly buy the shovel and just randomly start digging in every spot where there's like an X in grass, because most of the shells are just some random place. There's one where you open up a chest, get a seashell, push the chest out of the way.
I didn't do that. That's funny.
So it's like stuff like that.
Seriously?
Yeah, all of them are in the most ridiculous spots. And so it's one of these where it was definitely made to pad the length, in my opinion, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But in 2019, mechanics like that, like someone's going to make a YouTube video. It's like every stupid location for,
I think one of the problems, or it's such a bizarre thing. I know everyone's talking about the frame rate issues with the game, which are jarring. But my biggest pet peeve with the game is, how are there no D-pad controls?
That is a little off to me. When I picked up, I was like, I'll use the D. Oh, okay, I guess I'm going to use the joystick then.
It's a Game Boy game, and people say like it doesn't even have rumble, and they say, oh well, it's because it was kind of a flagship title for the Lite, and the Lite doesn't have HD rumble in that. Well, the Lite has a D-pad, and the game doesn't have D-pad support. So
I think only the claw machine supports the D-pad, because I use the D-pad for the claw machine.
Which is silly. I mean, the game is an 8-directional moving game, and you take away D-pad control, and it just doesn't make sense. Like that's something that should be patched in. D-pad control should be patched in while they're addressing frame rate hitches.
That's very.
I'll tell you one thing. I was playing. I think somebody in the chat also mentioned Ni no Kuni, which came out, and I was playing that on the Switch. Which that game is not as jacked up as some people were trying to say. The port's actually fine. It's just not. It's not 60 frames like the PS4 version. But the port on the Switch, it's not all messed up like some people were trying to say. It's actually a pretty good port. But that game has D-pad controls in the like. It doesn't have. It has. You can only use the D-pad in the menus, and it doesn't have analog controls. So it has analog controls normal, but you can't use the analog controls in the menu. But
it switches them around on you.
Yeah,
like
so
weird. That's strange, man.
You want to use that? You want to use the menu? Oh no! You use the D-pad only for the menu. Only for the menu. So
that's strange, man.
Yeah, very, very strange. It just brought Nate reminded me of that when he mentioned the no D-pad controls. Like, oh, well, you got it in Ni no Kuni for the menus only. No analog.
Yeah, I think I'm on like the fifth. I think I'm in fifth dungeon right now. So I'm rolling through it.
Which one? There's one dungeon that, in my opinion, is way longer. Eagle Tower, I think, is way longer than all the rest. So if you're like getting to that one's definitely like that kind of extends the link too.
Yeah. So I think the game itself is what 10, 12 hours. I think.
Yeah. If you know where to go, you can probably you'll push it to about 10 if you just kind of take your time, enjoy it. If you're new to the game and you have no idea where to go, you're probably pushing 15.
Yeah, it might be 15. That's a good point. Yeah,
right.
Because there's an argument about if it's worth the $60. You see that online?
I saw that. Yeah.
That was interesting to me. That was interesting because I paid $60 for Control, and that was like an 8-hour game.
I think I've seen a lot of people. Some of the discussion I've seen, and I feel like it's a valid criticism, is that this is the shortest Zelda we've gotten in a while. So I understand people's concern of if you just started getting into Zelda recently and you beat like the digital version of like Ocarina of Time 3D or something, and then you beat Majora's Mask 3D, and then you do Breath of the Wild, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, here's a little bite-sized one that came out 30 years ago on the Game Boy. People are going to be like, hold up.
They have the DX dungeons in the game. I know that. But
yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, maybe they should have added like its own another dungeon just for this version or something, just some extra content outside of just
one you had to build. Come on.
Yeah, but that one is like super limited. The tile. Dungeon builder.
Those are, but there's actually extra stuff in that. So I still, my biggest gripe is that you can't just put those on the internet. There's not like the fact you can only.
That's what I was hoping for.
That's so weird of like the fact that like the only way I could ever play your level Spawn Wave is if you physically flew your Switch here to Texas and amiiboed that shit to me. That's so ridiculous.
That is interesting that it uses an amiibo to transfer that. I'm not really sure what the deal is there. That's weird.
I would have liked it if they would have made it to where, you could like share online and all, but I guess that's a whole nother development period and time and testing and just
what's interesting?
We're paying $20 a year for those type of features.
Right.
That doesn't go to Grezzo though.
What's interesting about this game is I look at it and I'm like, you know what? That would have been, I think, like a renowned 3DS game if it had come out on the 3DS. I think everyone would have been like, this. People would have been like, why isn't this on the Switch? But people
that's the problem. I think that's the perception of value is that people are looking at it. It's a remake of a Game Boy game, so some people are already making that distinction in their mind, saying, well, now this should be lesser. It should be a $40 game. It should have been like a 3DS tier pricing.
I don't necessarily
assigning that to it. At the same time, it's a one-to-one remake. And then you have the reports and the reviews coming out of no D-pad, no rumble support, frame rate issues. And right now we're kind of at that. We're at the pre-holiday, but you have Dragon Quest coming out next week. You had a lot of games come out this week. And earlier in this month, we had Astral Chain, and you've had Fire Emblem, all within the last 8 weeks. So now you kind of have to ask yourself, is this worth my $60 right now when there's so much competition? And this is still kind of that game where people are still viewing it as a Game Boy game with really not a lot of new content. It has some issues. Is it worth the investment of full price right now, especially when you have other options available to you?
Like Goose Game.
I think it's a little more than that, though. I think, if you compare it to Breath of the Wild, which is a $60 game, are you getting the same value for your money versus just being a Game Boy remake? I think a lot of people are thinking, it's only a 10-hour game, and Breath of the Wild obviously is a massive game on a massive scale for $60. Why is Link's Awakening worth the same amount of money? I think that's a lot of people's argument about.
They're playing to the old people like us. That's why.
Well,
I think
I think that's a dangerous thing to do, to compare everything, because like most games don't have anywhere near as, like most games have nowhere near as much as Breath of the Wild. Like, so I would say like the majority of games aren't worth $60. Then if you're going to use Breath of the Wild as like hey, this is Breath of the Wild has this, it's 60. Literally like 95% of the games, well, nothing should be 60 compared to Breath of the Wild, considering how much content it has. So
there's also that, should be more expensive.
Or even Smash Brothers. I guess no other fighting game should be 60 because Smash Brothers has 70 something characters, in there. So I guess if another game comes out and it doesn't have 70 characters, it has nowhere near as much as Smash. It has 100 stages, 1,000 music tracks. So I see what you're saying, and I get that. But I mean, that could also be an issue when you're talking about like
that could be
other games.
That could be an issue that Smash runs into in the future if they decide to make a new one.
Yeah.
Well, there was a discussion. There was a discussion on the internet a couple years ago that I liked, that a lot of people framed it as, should Skyrim have cost $100? And a lot of people were basically saying, like, should more game cost more by default and less game cost less? Like, should we have more stuff that's $30 and more stuff that's above $60? And a lot of people kind of shut that argument down and said, no, let's just have the big games be 60 and a couple small games also be 60.
I mean, that's the problem. Every game, the perception of what you value a game at is going to vary to the individual. Some person, I mean, there are people sitting there saying Link's Awakening is worth $60, and that's completely fair. And there's another person saying, I'll buy it for $40, and that's also fair. There is no set pattern or regulation to, well, a game with this many hours should be worth this. Because otherwise, I mean, you can technically beat Breath of the Wild. You can leave the plateau immediately, go destroy again, and that doesn't, just because you beat the game in an hour doesn't mean the game should be worth $10. It's all about what you have, the experience with the game. You had Sayonara Hearts come out this week. It's about an hour long. It's selling for $13. Some will say, well, that's overpriced. Others will say, that game is one of the best games I played this year. That hour was well worth that investment. So Link's Awakening, it's because it's a Nintendo game. People have different perceptions for Nintendo games and the value and the quality that you get. So it's always going to be a topic when it comes to a certain title, especially when they view it as kind of a handheld game. It was a Game Boy game. And that's a perception that Nintendo didn't exactly break. They kind of embraced it and said, yeah, we're going back 26 years to the first handheld portable Zelda ever. We're remaking it. And they, they really struck those nostalgia chords.
They even released it on the same day that their handheld only system came out. So
and isn't the collector's edition in Europe also a Game Boy K?
Yes. They got to start releasing that stuff over here. What's going on with that?
I know.
Oh, MVG, did yours come in?
It's on the way. It's on the way.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I'll do a video when it comes.
I want to see. Yeah, I want to see that.
Sort of off top on the topic of super limited editions. Did anybody else pre-order the Ultimate Collector's Edition from Limited Run Games for Shenmue 3?
No.
Yes. I did.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited.
Does it come with a replica forklift?
I think it comes with a replica of the Phoenix mirrors.
Okay. What were you saying, Nate?
I thought he was talking about Final Fantasy 7 and 8 dual pack and 8 comes to the Switch, because now you finally have Final Fantasy 7 on a cartridge for a Nintendo system.
That is weird.
Dude, so I'm excited for that. Some people in the Final Fantasy community are real butthurt about that. For some reason, a lot of them don't own the Switch. They're all like PS4 owners, and they're like, how could you not release this on a disc? I'm buying it. I'm definitely buying it.
Sounds like a natural chain problem.
Yeah.
that is an interesting announcement, Steve. That's gonna be cool. I'll pick that up. Why not?
One quick thing on the Link's Awakening frame rate. So we're waiting for a patch, right? The thing I want to say is, when I saw Link's Awakening at E3, which is back in July, it had the same issues. So I feel like this is not something that is going to be easy for them to fix. I feel like if they would have. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like if they had the chance or the opportunity to do so, they would have done so by now, because so much time has passed and the game runs at the same level of performance as it did back at E3. And, I was expecting, that to be all smoothed out by now. But the fact that it hasn't been really makes it seem like this is something that's inherent into the engine itself, and something they potentially won't be able to fix or at least, address anytime soon.
And it seems like around like some of the moving particles. A buddy of mine was streaming it earlier, and when he went into the swamp, the water seemed to like slow everything down for a little bit before he got into the dungeon. Then when he got out, like it's something specific with assets.
Yeah, it runs okay in dungeons for the most part, from what I could tell.
Yeah, it's been mainly overworld stuff.
Yeah,
lots of grass.
Yeah, grass.
Oh no, grass.
I see a beautiful meadow. It's like 6 frames a second. I'm like, this is it, boys. My Vita dreams are coming true.
I do want to mention, because I'm not the big. I know a lot of you guys are more Zelda fans than me. My favorite one is Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker. because of the freedom that those games gave you or give you. So I wasn't as much of a fan in terms of like the puzzles and everything. And I played the original back in the day. You guys all loved it. When I was younger, I hated that game. I was like, this game
Wow.
sucks. I was like, I hate this game. And I was a big Pokemon was my favorite franchise growing up. Like when Pokemon, I was in love with it. And so I just played that on my Game Boy instead. I just be training forever. But when I played the remake, I went into it with the open mind. I'm like, hey, I'm going to try it out. That's why I didn't stream it day one or I didn't stream it. I just made some Let's Plays and I got to do it tomorrow. I'm going to upload them tomorrow. But I'm actually having a ton of fun with it. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't like traditional, like everyone loves Link to the Past. It's like, oh, well, you know, Link to the Past is great, but it's not my favorite. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, I know. People love Link to the Past. I mean, I like it too. I watched my brother play it all
That's
day.
the next one that needs to be remade.
Yeah, that's
Well, isn't Link Between Worlds essentially the same? Like,
It's
if you
it's
think,
like-
why not just bring it over?
It's like a sequel. It's a sequel to it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They can drop the
kinda,
Seasons
'cause
and
you-
Ages combo.
You do go
man.
back through you fight some of the same bosses.
Yeah.
I mean, but a Link to the Past, you don't become a painting and move on a wall.
Well,
That
I
was a
know,
cool
but
mechanic.
still.
And
That
I'm
was
a-
the mod. Hey, you wanted
Link to the
modern, right?
Past. Link to the Past is gaming perfection. Even Polygon, the only
right,
thing
here we
Polygon's
go.
ever done right
Wow.
is on their review page. They say no game is perfect except Link to the Past.
Link to the Past is really good, and I do like I said, all the Zelda games. I've played every single Zelda game. It's just I don't necessarily like love every single Zelda game, but this one I'm having a ton of fun with. So even if you're someone maybe if you tried it back then, or if you're thinking maybe this might not be for you, like once you start playing it, I did notice the frame rate stuff as well. But like when you start playing, you're not worried about that. Like you're just
Right.
playing, you know, like you're just playing. You're in the game. If it recovers after like a little bit, and you're right back to fighting or doing whatever the case is. I mean, like people can go out and buy Red Dead. You press the button, it takes 3 seconds for it to respond, for it to do what it's supposed to do.
Yep.
You're gonna be okay with this, you know. I'm playing through the game, so I mean that's just my experience. I did notice it. It is like, oh wow, that's weird. But when you're playing, you're just having fun, and it's
Yep.
another Zelda game to play. It's a ton of fun. So
Well,
that's just my take.
they put a lot of love into it too. Like the soundtrack and everything is like absolutely
Soundtrack's good,
amazing.
yeah.
And there's so many. Like I was going through trying to find just effects and stuff like that for the stream beforehand, and I was going through the list, and I was like, oh my god, they put so much. And there was like, it's not just like they had a couple of musicians coming, you know, it's like they went full out for it, and that was really cool to see. And I can understand for a lot of people, it's like they're like, this is what they saw as a kid, you know, like this is what was going on in their mind. And I think for a lot of people, like I think if this is one of the first games that you introduce, like I know for my kids specifically, if I ever have them, we'll see one day if I ever want to share my games. You know, like I'll probably start them out on a game like that and then work their way up, because I don't want to give them like the Breath of the Wild experience first and then make them play the other ones, because you're gonna be like, wow, this game's trash, you know, and then it's like, so I don't know. I think ultimately like the development time and all the work they put into it, like for me, it's like I can see that they put the passion into the project. It's like these minor things that hopefully they can figure it out, because again, it's not game breaking. I would still recommend the game to people, but it's more of an annoyance, if anything. It's like, I mean, we are in 2019, you know, like 2020 is coming up. We don't have flying cars. Can we at least fix our frames, you know? So,
I think they should have just capped it at 30 frames a second.
I agree. Why didn't they just lock it at 30? Because I mean, that would have been a much smoother experience overall.
Yeah, and like what we're seeing with the frame drops, like we've seen Digital Foundry has their video game explain, also did an analysis. And what's making these drops so jarring is that it goes from 60 all the way to 30. It's not just like, it's not a 60 to a 45 or a 50. It's 60 to 30.
It's a VSync thing. So when it can't hit 60, the VSync kind of fails and it just drops down to 30 as like a safeguard, and it's completely jarring.
Yeah, they should have just capped it there. Why? I don't know. It's not like, 60 is smoother. It makes the experience a little better. But if you cap it at 30 and it's a nice, smooth experience at that, no one's really going to notice.
I'm going to play devil's advocate on that one. I think that if you can get it going on 60 for a lot of the times, like when you're inside like the dungeons and fighting bosses and stuff like that, it's a great experience. And I rather have them have it at 60, where most of the time it's going to be fine, than being a little bit, you know, jarring for a little bit. I mean, it's jarring. Okay. You know, that doesn't mean you can't have it at 60 for the dungeons and the boss battles and stuff like that. So I disagree with that one, but I see what you guys are saying.
What if they did 60 in the dungeon and then 30 in the overworld?
That'd work.
And I feel like people would hit on it a lot though. Remember when Mortal Kombat X came out and the whole game was 60 frames a second except for the finishing moves, and everybody had like a million videos of why can't they make this gory finisher 60 frames a second?
No matter what. Yeah.
Welcome to the new member Cosmic Creeper 008.
Did you say the X-rays are 30, right?
It was the X-rays, and I think all the finishing moves were 30 frames a second. And I couldn't tell, but the whole fighting game community was like, "Oh my god, it's a slideshow!"
I remember that, and that's the newest Mortal Kombat, right? Then Mortal Kombat.
No, it was the Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah,
so the one before that.
The new one, the menus are like 30. Even on the PC, they had locked them. They fixed it in a patch, but they made like the menus and everything run at 30, which was weird for a lot of people. It's really. I looked at this game, Link's Awakening, and I thought to myself, man, the day that Nintendo incorporates like HDR into their games is going to be insane with how some of these look, like going back to them. Like HDR would like really pop off the screen with this game, and I think of like Breath of the Wild, some others. So if Nintendo really looks into like next gen stuff, or even as we've talked about before, Nate, like a pro HDR would be pretty cool to see that happen. This is a game I'd like to go back and see it with like the range of colors they could do, but that would be cool. Link's Awakening is fun. I personally think it's worth the 60, but some people might be back and forth. I also like the original one a lot, so. But yes, Evan, you have a Discord question for us.
Can anybody think of a hidden gem Wii U game that should make its way to the Switch? Hidden gem specifically.
Wonderful 101.
Wonderful 101. Wonderful 101 would be that game. If it was on the Switch, it'd be like that cult hit type of game. People would definitely pick it up because it is actually a really good game. It's super good. It's made by Hideki Kamiya. Like, he directed that one. It is amazing. So yes, Wonderful 101.
I'd say Devil's Third. It's $100 on eBay.
Is it really $100?
It is. It's like 90 to 100.
I have a sealed copy of that game somewhere.
Oh, dude, you're in business then, man.
Nice.
I got a mint copy as well.
There you go.
I'd say
like $80 after it came out.
I'm going to say Xenoblade Chronicles X, just because it worked. I played a lot of it, but I think a big issue with that was that they tried to forcibly split the experience to your gamepad and the screen. If they found a way to combine that information and not put like scanning mini games on a tinier screen, put it all on a Switch, that would be an awesome experience.
That's a great comment, Dreamcast guy. I'm a huge fan.
All right, so we got Wonderful 101 out of the way, so I'm going to go with Fatal Frame, Maiden of the Black Wall.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, that's a good one. That water system, the fact that game gets scarier the wetter you get, which I don't get to say very often. That's a good game.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival.
You have just recommended two pieces of shit.
Nah, dude, Wind Waker. Bring Wind Waker.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, Wind Waker is really good. But Xenoblade X actually needs it. They're bringing Tokyo Mirage Sessions, so that freaking flipped me out when they did that. But Xenoblade needs what Dreamcast guy said is right, because that game, it's so weird. Like, even if you're using a controller, you have to use the gamepad too. So like, yeah,
the text was really hard to read on that gamepad too. I remember with Chronicles X.
I think they did patch it.
Did they?
Oh, okay. Yeah, they did patch it a little bit later on because I played it last year again.
Oh, okay.
Like I always do. Every year I play and beat the game. and the text was, I think they definitely patched it. But yeah, that game needs to come over because the gamepad kind of ruined the experience at times. So
what about Pikmin 3?
Yeah.
Pikmin 3 still a lot of fun. Is it?
It's not officially announced yet, but it's not a question of if, it's when.
Okay.
When?
So that one is okay. That they're saving it for the Pikmin 4 announcement, right, Nate?
If I had to guess, they would announce a Pikmin 4 with it, but I don't think we're going to get that lucky. We're going to get Pikmin 3. It's going to have new content. It's probably going to come out in early 2020. Look forward to it and buy it for once.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, Miss Clay. Looks like the game you want.
I personally can't stand Pikmin, but okay. So I just say.
Never mind then.
How can you hate Pikmin?
I didn't say I hate it. I just said I wasn't a big fan of it.
If you play Smash Brothers competitively,
one, and I liked 2. Pikmin 2, I think, is like my favorite.
Well,
3
Pikmin
was
3 perfects it.
chill. Listen,
Is that Wii U gamepad involved?
It's hard. I'll be honest. I find those games real difficult. Like that's my only issue is I'm not good at them.
they're just tilting, dude. That's the only thing.
they are kind of tilting. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, and like you're wrestling with the controls of the game and also the difficulty because there's always some stupid thing they do with the controls in Pikmin games. There's always something. It's like you can play this way, this way, this way. They all are kind of like trash to play. But it was use the Wii remote and nunchuck to play the game. But I'm like, on the Wii U, why am I using Wii remote? I'm over here going like this, and like I'm just like, okay, I'm good with this game, dude. Like the controls in that game always just tilt me.
Should we go through some of these super chats? Oh, Nate, did you have to take off?
I'll give you 3 more minutes.
Okay,
Hey.
3 more minutes.
3 more minutes for Pikmin 3.
Wishbone says SNK and Neo Geo actually highlighted my comment on YouTube about their next gen system that is supposed to come out around the PS5 launch or after. Weird. I did not know that SNK was working on another system. They have that plug and play arcade stick. I didn't know they were doing another system. Okay. Well,
Yeah, they're doing it. I've seen people retweeting it. People have been tagging me in it. Yes, they're saying they're making a system, and some of the press releases are claiming it is a new real system. But
okay.
I mean,
well, I'm gonna send some emails then.
I thought the whole thing was the arcade stick and that it has games built in.
Well, no, that's separate. But a bunch of companies right now are talking next gen. Wasn't there like some VR company, Mad Dog or something, that was saying they were going to make a console?
The Mad Box. That's
Mad Box. I can't. It came and went so fast. But they were at the time they were claiming like we're going to stomp the PS5.
It was the studio that did Cars 2.
Yeah.
Project Cars 2.
Yeah, that company. That was fraudulent. You already know that was fraudulent.
Oh man. Yeah, that's not. If you look up the renders for what they were going to do, it's like no one wants. It was like this light show that you're going to put underneath your TV. It's like nobody. We just want like the most basic looking boxes at this point and put them under our TVs.
Give me an Ouya, damn it.
Yeah. Tadam says we need a Hori Rumble pack for the light.
I don't know if I want to add any
like a
weight
Rumble
to
pack for it.
Or a grid with the Rumble. Maybe
It'd be huge. It'd be this giant thing you attach to the back. Like, all right, gentlemen, I'm ready to shit.
Battery powered or powered from the console. Like, it's all weird.
I was out when we were talking about Zelda. I was going to talk about. I own basically the original sequel to Link to the Past, which is called the Ancient Stone Tablets, the Japanese exclusive. This is like the heaviest. This weighs the weight of like 5 Super Nintendo games because it's actually 5 games in one. I was going to say if they remake it, I want them to put the expansion in there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you have to. So there's instructions on the back. Basically, you have to turn your console for 3 seconds to switch between the games.
Yep.
Because it basically is different days, and you had to beat the game over the course of a week. You turned on the satellite system for the Super Nintendo. Each day at a certain time, you turned on your console, and Nintendo would actually beam you that day's mission, and a guy would actually read to you what you're supposed to do. So from your TV, there'd be a guy like, and you'd actually have to do what they say. Somebody translated it. So somebody translated the whole game, and it has subtitles for what the guy would have said at that time.
Need that clip. Someone clip that, please.
Oh man, I used to make. I made like 3 of those, and it's the worst thing ever.
They're heavy.
It's
weird.
heavy because it has 4. What is that?
I'm actually a little
322s. They're heavy chips though.
I'm actually kind of disappointed. Nintendo thinks that we have the time for all that shit. It's like, come on, seriously, we got to sit there and like.
The funny thing about Nintendo is we talk about that we rag on their online stuff. They've been doing online for a long time.
They have, but I mean,
long time.
Hey, come over here on Tuesday. We have this mission for you.
That's what they would do.
Well, too damn bad. Tuesday's the mission.
If you miss the mission because you have to beat all the days to beat the game. If you miss Tuesday because you got to stay late at work, well, bitch, I'll see you next week because you're gonna get in.
It was with like the Satellaview, the little thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
PSX. Yeah,
that was interesting. Ethan R says OJ had a Splatoon 1v1.
Yeah. This click would like this. We had 2 people who were really talking smack to each other in the community. So we're like 1v1 me, bro, in Splatoon. So we literally set up a 1v1 in Splatoon. It was great.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I love it.
Oh, Mega Nerd says, "How about that sweet snake amiibo?" Though yesterday, I couldn't. When I picked up Link's Awakening and the lights, all of those were gone. All the amiibos are gone. I don't collect them, but they were just gone. Everybody had bought them, so I don't know if they didn't send a lot out. But the snake one, if I was going to get one, that might have been it. The snake one looked pretty cool.
We'll have an overabundance of them everywhere.
Do you? Oh wow, there you go. Dude, I don't want to go down that rabbit. I don't want to get into the whole amiibo thing.
It gets bad.
Oh, have you been avoiding?
Yeah, I don't do any of the amiibo stuff. I have Villager and I have Yoshi, and that's it. And those were when they first came
Mega
out.
Man and Ridley, and I stopped.
Okay, nice.
I will say that I am glad that they did re-release the Ocarina playing Link.
Wait, they did?
With this wave, yes.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's the one I wanted, and I never got it, and I regret it.
The only ones I own are the ones that Nintendo sent me. The only one I ever bought was Waluigi. The rest I just don't care.
You know you would buy a goose. Amiibo.
Oh my god!
I mean, I wanted the Dark Souls because I'm a big Dark Souls fan. I casually looked to see if I could find the Solar one, but I couldn't, so I just said what.
Yeah, I'd get a Mega Man X one if they did that. I think they just did regular Mega Man though.
Yeah, regular.
I'd get X. Twist says, "Will we ever get a Rogue Squadron 2 remake?"
No.
The thing about we're getting the Jedi Outcast thing really threw people off because there's a Star Wars game technically coming out this week, by the way, and everyone should buy it because it's only $10 and it's a very good game. But I talked to Aspire and everything, and that just apparently they just have the rights to be able to do it. So there you go. I think Rogue Squadron is that held down by EA? That was Factor 5 and someone else.
Factor 5 did the development, but I think EA probably would own it now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because they just have the rights to Star Wars. They don't necessarily own all the past properties. Disney owns it. So Disney would probably have to see if anyone wants to make it. So they'd have to license it.
Factor 5 had the trilogy ready on the Wii, but they weren't approved by Lucas to release it on the Wii due to sales or something.
That would blow up the internet that day if they had the Rogue Squadron trilogy ready to go for the Switch. That would be crazy. Yeah, but that would be up to Disney. That'd be Disney's call. I mean, Jedi Outcast is happening. That's going to the PS4 and the Switch this week, so you never know. I guess 24th, by the way. I'll be playing that day. We'll have video and everything. Very good game. I think actually, Nate, you got that on the Cube now, don't you?
I picked up the GameCube version so that next week I can do a comparison showing the improvements that the Switch version has over the original release.
I bet you that thing's gonna be 60. I think it's gonna be 60 frames. That'll be good. MVG, you ever play Jedi Outcast?
Yeah, finished it on the Xbox original. It's awesome.
It's a very good game. Everyone should play it.
Yeah, I'll be picking it up. That includes
you.
Well.
That's you too, Miss Click.
Nani?
Everyone should play it. Star Wars Jedi Outcast out 24th on the Switch and the PS4. Everyone play it.
I gotta play Goose first.
That means no.
She's searching for the Ocarina playing amiibo right now.
You know what?
Yeah. Man vs. Music says, any of you interested in Baldur's Gate on Switch?
Yes, very much. Doesn't it also include the what's it called, Icewind Dale?
Yeah,
it's collections, isn't there?
It's the
right. Am I thinking correct?
I thought the Baldur's Gate one. I thought was going to be Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and then they were redoing the Neverwinter or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neverwinter.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
And what was it? It wasn't Champions, right?
Andy Ackerman says, you let Rax back in here. What does this world come to?
Yeah, stupid Rax, piece of shit.
Whoa.
Sean's mom says, OJ, can you recommend a hidden gem JRPG?
Hidden gem JRPG. I mean, I would definitely say Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I think that would be the game because it's coming out on Switch. You can get it on Wii U, but the Switch version is coming out early next year. It's a very, very good game. It's as good as any of the Personas. I think it's just as good. It's just a really solid, great game. So yeah, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It's great. It's like Shin Megami Tensei, and it's like Persona, and it's a little bit of elements from Fire Emblem in terms of like themes and characters and stuff. Some light stuff from there, but yeah, it's great.
Okay, very good. Trick Arrow says the blur effect in Link is nostalgia glasses with a smiley face.
Mine's a little too HD then.
Zildjian65 says on the subject of Borderlands 3, what is your lines on how far a company can go with bad business that you won't buy a game because of that? That's you, Jordan, since you're like Borderlands guy. How far do they got to push it?
So it depends on two factors. Okay. How bad do I want this game, and how bad are the things the company did? And yeah, people behind the scenes at 2K and Gearbox CEOs, not to name names, but who?
Squirty Pitchford,
Magic Trick. But yeah, it really depends. Like, yeah, I don't condone anything that 2K or Smandy Schmidt did, but I still Borderlands means more to me than any of that. Like, it sucks, and I'm totally on the side of that's awful, but I still wanted to play Borderlands 3. I've been waiting for Borderlands 3, and the game is great. And I'm not going to let the actions of, first off, one man, and then whoever many people at 2K did the whole like, hey, send goons to a people's house, that situation ruin the hundreds of people working on a fantastic game. That's why it's like hard, like you equated to movies. Obviously, if an actor in real life does something terrible, that affects people going to see that movie. Yeah. But it sucks because 800 to 1,000 people made that movie. It's not just that the face of it who sold the movie to make you go see it in theaters. And I equate it to that. It really depends. So like Borderlands didn't do anything to cross the line, but if I was really excited for a game and the main face of it or whoever was promoting it came out as like an extreme racist or homophobic or in some insane thing like that, or like, oh, he killed someone in 1983 and got away with it, something on those lines, then yes, absolutely, boycott it. But for me, do what you want, boycott what you want, get what you want, but choose your own line in the sand,
That was a real specific example.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything about anyone from certain companies, but
That reminds me, we need a Forensic Files game. That reminds me, we need a Forensic Files game.
I was going to say, my thing is, if they mistreat, I hate that some of the worst cases of companies like doing awful stuff doesn't come out till years later. Like the whole thing with LA Noire. Like LA Noire was the worst thing ever. They were making everybody that wanted to work on LA Noire was being forced to work like 100 hours weeks and basically not get paid like the double overtime they deserved. And if you complained about it, they took you out of the credits of the game, which meant you couldn't even like put it on an application for your next job. So they like fucked your career if you even complained that you missed your wife. And like, it was a huge deal. Like that whole studio got shut down after they released it. And that stuff didn't come out for years.
Dream says, so happy Rax is on. He is beautiful inside and out.
Jesus Christ, that's the nicest thing I've ever heard anyone tell anyone.
And then Andy Ackerman made it strange and said, yeah, Rax does have some pretty lips.
Okay.
Yes, and then Andy Ackerman then followed up, said, this one goes out to Spidey Shady. So sorry about your bankroll. I wish you the best.
You want to know what was going on there with that?
Back to how beautiful.
All right. Yeah.
Never mind. Evan says, shaking his head.
Okay.
So I'll refrain from saying what was going on.
Okay.
Does that have anything to do with 1983?
No.
Juice Man says newer games are literally $60 plus for 8 to 15 hours of gameplay. I don't see the issue in regards to Link's Awakening. There you go. Christopher says Link's Awakening is great. Music is the best part, in my opinion. Deathwish Cassidy says just I and then LMAO. So there you go.
Freaking Cassidy.
Mega Nerd says I'll always prefer 2D overhead Zelda to 3D Zelda. All right.
Really? Okay.
I do like 2D. I'm a fan of 2D overhead Zelda. I will admit they're like even for me. They're right there. So.
3D all the way, man. 3D.
I
You
get
can live your
that.
life. I'm just.
I get that because everybody loves Metroid Prime, but I like 2D Metroid more than 3D Prime
Okay,
Metroid.
there you go.
I'm a fan of any time Link is Toon Link, or I guess now Toy Link, or whatever this new
Toy
Link we have is.
Claymation Link, yeah.
Claymation Link,
they have to come up with some new art style if they want to do Link to the Past.
This is this is the best art style they've done for any Legend of Zelda game. I'll say that now.
The cutscenes are definitely improved. There was some stuff in the original game where it's like, I am sad, and now they're actually like now they actually have face.
Their facial expressions. Oh my god.
Nail says, and they said it would and could never be put on a cartridge, but behold, Nintendo haters, the supposedly impossible exists. This is in reference to Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm.
True. It's true.
And then David Valdez comes in saying, supporting the live stream, received my Sega Genesis Mini. Very nice, very nice. And Zelda Link's Awakening, playing Link's Awakening. Enjoy it. Also played Sagebrush this week. Also pre-ordered the Evercade handheld all-in bundle. I actually had them reach out to me about that, so maybe we'll take a look at that here on the channel, the Evercade.
Yeah, same. I think I'm going to take a look at it too. I'm interested.
But I will say the Sega Genesis Mini, when I was at Walmart the other day, I will say it was pretty cool seeing them have that locked up behind the cabinet next to the PlayStation 4, because they just put the at-game stuff wherever. They don't care. No one's stealing that. so it was pretty cool to see this Genesis Mini right there next to the PlayStation 4 locked up behind like the glass. That was neat.
I went into Target today and they still have the at games ones there, but they don't have the Genesis or the Sega ones there. So people can get really confused about picking up one of these systems.
Yes.
And I think it's at the expense of Sega and selling units.
Yeah, I don't think they produce those. I don't think those at games ones are even produced anymore. I literally think they just have that same stock. It's just sat there this whole time. All right, Nate. Have a good night. We'll see you. We'll see you next week, right? 9 p.m. Eastern.
Holly will be here next week, and the web camera will be active.
Oh, you're getting the rest of the stuff in? You getting it all in?
Wait a minute.
Well, part one will be in.
This man.
Nice.
So
Say a whole reason to tune in.
It's gonna be. I guarantee it's gonna be jet black with a spotlight behind him, so it's just a smoky silhouette. Every game is a bad game.
No, we worked out a Nate persona. We'll see if it's all there that day.
Oh wait, Evan, is this from the other way?
yes.
Next
week at 9 p.m.
No, you guys are not ready.
No one's ready for
Like
this.
Mark Zuckerberg or something.
Holy crap, this is gonna be great.
I'm ready for the hate.
It's gonna.
Will be revealed next
The real reveal is gonna come next year at Too Many Games when we do it live, and he like breaks into the crowd. That's gonna be the real.
He'll be able to bring this outfit. It'll be good.
Oh yeah, I'll be in this at Too Many Games too.
Oh god.
Oh man,
It's gonna be great, man.
all right, Nate. We look forward to it. So I guess we will actually see you next week then.
Sure.
Yes, sure.
You can't even confirm the things you just confirmed. You're like,
The webcam will be active. When I speak, a thing will move on the screen. It won't just be
this is gonna be a fucking. This is gonna be Arlo 2. We're about to have another puppet.
Shit.
Oh man, all right.
I could be like Dr. Claw. Just on the back of my dog sitting there saying yes.
Good job, Gadget. DLC is not always bad.
Oh man.
Yes,
Can I guess
something-
what it's going to be? I think you're going to wear like a Hans Gruber mask, aren't you? Next week.
We couldn't find one of those.
That's true. We didn't think about that.
Yeah, but our options were better, Nate. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll go over well. Well, for the most part.
Oh god.
You didn't order the stuff on Wish, did you?
Sponsored by Wish.com.
Oh, true.
I'm a little worried about what's gonna show up.
Right. It's gonna smell like cat pee.
Oh man.
Yes.
All right, Nate. You have a good night. We'll see you. We'll actually see you next week.
Bye, Nate.
Yes, I will be live next week.
All right. We have Prince of Duval says, went to pick up my $49 copy of Link's Awakening at Walmart, and they had full game eShop cards for $35. So we really expect next gen game prices to go up, while retailers currently competing to offer the lowest price. I see what you're saying. Yeah, for some reason Walmart keeps doing that. They keep selling games for like $10 less than retail.
Yeah, get you in the store.
I'm still part of Gamers Club, dude. I'm like counting down the days. It's about to go out.
How much longer do you have on that?
I literally, well, I'm not too bad, but I literally renewed it. Like, I'm telling you, like 2 days before they discontinued.
Wow, you're so
I was
lucky.
talking to the guy at Best Buy. So when I went in, I was like, yo, so did they like tell you that it was just ending? He's like, no, none of the employees even knew. So we all like came into work, we found out, and we're all like in the back room crying because we didn't renew. I was like, I feel so bad for y'all.
Man, yeah. So that's
Mine ran out. Mine ran out.
Go to Walmart now.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Dang.
Just go to Walmart now, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. We go to Walmart, but
Walmart Club unlocked.
They'd like sue us.
I have to pay tax.
No fee.
I have to pay tax at the Walmart near me because it's in Maryland, but then I can go to Delaware and there's no tax
That
there.
one's so far away.
Which one? That GameStop?
Oh no, you go to the GameStop? I thought you were talking about the Walmart.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, the GameStop. Yeah, that one, yeah. But the people there are cool though. They'll save like the pre-order stuff for me, things like that, even if I don't pre-order. So I and that was pretty busy. So maybe they'll eventually get it like redone.
Which one? The one in Suburban?
Yes. Yeah. No. The one in People's.
Yeah, People's. I could see them do People's.
That's like a movie theater and everything in there. That one's pretty busy. But yeah, that's generally what I. But Walmart, they keep putting them out for cheap. So, like Ni no Kuni was like $41 there on the Switch.
Yeah,
so.
I picked it up for $41 at Walmart. So
I bought it on Amazon, and they price matched it, and I got some money back today. So that was cool.
Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of GameStop, did you guys see the new look to the GameStop?
I did. I saw the video too.
No, is there a link?
It's very reminiscent,
cool.
John, of some things we've seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say we know all about that whole situation.
I wonder if a guy we know might be
Hold on.
ahead of that or something.
Hold on, we need
I can
to
give you the view if that's the case. I'll just put you on mute.
We need the link to that for Miss Click. Let me see. It's a redesign that was posted on Facebook. Here we go.
Are all of them going to be like that though?
Facebook.
They're probably going to pick and choose the stores that are big enough to do it, as well as the stores that have enough foot traffic for it to matter.
Where do they get those CRTs?
I don't know, but they're like the nice ones too.
Yeah, dude.
Facebook Marketplace for free.
I dropped it in the chat. Miss Click Discord. You wanna look in there?
Yeah.
Yep. It's like a minute long if you want to watch it, but it's I'll drop it in the.
Oh God. Oh, that voice. Okay, sorry.
I'll drop it in the chat there too. There you go, guys. For Facebook, you didn't see. Yep.
It reminds me of Verizon stores. No offense to Verizon.
It's huge.
Verizon's
It looks cool, but like the gray panels. Like this,
Yeah,
I like the layout, the setup. That Switch logo is nice.
So I got a couple of different things. One, what's with the drawers at the bottom of the shelves?
I have to imagine that is
Staff,
for. I hope they're all locked. I assume that's more stock, or those are hooks for the wall.
doesn't
Oh, those
look like
chairs
there's locks.
though.
It doesn't look like there's a lock hole anywhere on those.
If there's no lock hole, then it's probably store stuff like the hooks or something you can actually put up on the wall, like a mini
That's all I
poster
can
holder or
assume.
something.
So I feel like this is totally gonna bomb. So there used to be this there used to be this store near my house called Half Price Computers, and it was basically like a computer reselling shop. And in the back, they actually had a PlayStation, and they had a station set up called Test Before You Buy. And we would just sit there all day playing PlayStation games like assholes and never buy anything. I feel like that's what's going to happen here.
Well,
There's just going to be kids camping out.
Here's how it works. Apparently, to play games there, you have to be a pro member.
Yeah.
Is what they said. So you have to have like their subscription thing for the
Yeah,
year.
I'll pay $10 a year, whatever.
There you go. But I'm curious how they're going to cover that. Like, do they just kick somebody out eventually if they've been there for 4 hours?
What if one guy has the pro and then his buddy doesn't, and they're trying to play? Like, they just kick both of them out? Like,
That's a good question. Yeah. So there's still some weirdness. That's why I think they're doing a few stores just to see how it goes over. But they have like couches and like, the couches can get kind of gross pretty quick if you got people coming through a lot, and just keep the Febreze and vacuums and everything handy. I guess.
I mean, I think it'd be cool though. Like, granted, I would like to see a bigger space because I know it's just substantially more money, but it'd be cool to like have a place where you could go and do like LANs or tournaments or something.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you need more places like that. Like going up to some of the LANs when I was up in New York, like there was a location. It was a warehouse. They turned it into a LAN event, and people were there for Smash all the time and Splatoon, and it was like the coolest thing. And I was like, dude, we need more of those. Like, if GameStop was able to somehow convert and somehow get smart, I think it would work. I don't know about this specific. So
they did build one, and for whatever reason, it's near my house. You can go to it and you can walk in it, but there's nothing in there yet. It's like there's like TVs and like GameStop shirts, and you're allowed to walk around. We have like an esports arena thing here, and it's not really used. It's part of that now. I just feel like GameStop doesn't know how to utilize that. It's one of the things of like smarter people could execute, but they couldn't.
Right. Yeah.
So the thing I like about it, I mean, it looks cleaner than like most GameStops. It looks more open too. So that's all I really want from GameStop, because I just go there to buy stuff. So
there's not one tacky shirt.
It looks cool and all, but how is this going to solve their underlying problem with losing, bleeding millions of dollars every single year?
They're going to reduce the people that work there down to like one, and that's it.
Well, they need to get rid of most of their stores. That's the thing. They're going to close. They'll probably end up closing like a third of their stores and then redo the rest of them, and then I hope that it works after that, but
bittersweet, dude.
I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Apparently, they're gonna stock all the retro games though, the MVG in store. So
that would be cool, because at least you can go there and take a look at the quality of these.
Whenever I know you do it too. Whenever we order stuff on their website, man, it is such a coin flip. I don't know what I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm almost at the point where I'm ready to do another order of games.
I thought about it the other day. I was like, because I went on there, I was like, let's do Saturn games.
Ooh.
They had like 4 Saturn games. I was like, that's not happening right now. But I keep thinking about it. I'm like, what weird stuff can I order from them next? So I don't know.
N64 might be okay, but you won't get any boxes or manuals with those, of course.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'd like to try for that. But
please order some Dreamcast games in bulk and see if they send you the burned ones, because I know a lot of people like when they weren't carrying, they were putting like burned games in cases.
Oh man, that'd be the worst. Okay, and maybe Dreamcast will be next. We can do that. That'd be fun. I keep trying to get a Saturn from them, but they never have them in stock. I want to order like an actual Sega Saturn system from them, but they never have them in stock. So, maybe at some point.
Who the hell is going to sell their Saturn to GameStop?
Right.
That's true. I want them to sell them a busted one and see if they can refurbish it. Right. I'm looking for a refurbished one just to see if they can do it. That'd be a fun video. So Evan, we got a Discord question.
Let's see. Do you think Nintendo's going to bring back their selects?
Yes, I do.
I think so.
Yeah.
I actually think Link's Awakening could end up being part of the selects, years down the line. Because we have the Link Between Worlds, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. I think those are all part of the selects. I know Ocarina of Time, and I know Link's Between World is.
And Mario 3D. So just all the older stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do that. Sony does their own thing like that too. So generally they do it. If they do it, they'll probably announce it before a holiday. So it might be getting a little late now. But I mean, they technically could. Link's Awakening wouldn't be there this year, but maybe like next year or the year after. Because like Breath of the Wild 2 will be out. So we think next holiday maybe. Nate's not here to confirm or deny. So yeah, but I think they will do a selects. Absolutely. I think they'll throw new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe right in there. That's like the first thing they're gonna do.
And then I'll finally buy it.
There you go, right? Yeah, they're gonna change that cover art though. That spine's gonna be a different color or something. That's gonna annoy everybody.
I don't care. Mine's ruined now because I have the ever since I got the black spine for the super special edition of Smash Bros. Ultimate. No, I don't care.
I thought you were about to say Darksiders. They put that black spine.
I thought you were about to say the Labo. The Labo.
Oh, no. Labo ruined everything, man.
I never bought it, and I never will, man. It's cardboard.
Labo ruined everything, man. The spine's all messed up now.
Yeah.
Doesn't Darkest Dungeon have a black spine too?
Does it? Man, they're just all over the place.
Y'all so.
This
is great.
Do you want to hit us with another Discord question, Evan, before we do talk about some state of play?
Do you think making the Nintendo Switch Lite dockable could become a popular mod in the future?
I
thought the internals. Yeah, I thought the internals though weren't.
The amount of money is going because those 3DS. Like I can't remember what Nate had to pay to get his done. The Switch to output video outside of the port. It's not cheap though. That's like hundreds of dollars.
I think it was about $250 or $300 to get that one done.
And it's like remap, right? Like,
and I believe that company's out of business now anyway. They don't make them anymore.
Yeah, so they don't do the 3DS stuff either. The 3DS stuff at least made sense because streamers and stuff for Pokemon and everything. So
right.
My question is, what's the point?
Yeah, that's a good.
If you want it on the TV,
buy the
regular Switch.
Yeah, that's
I don't understand the point.
I think
getting this one specifically to not.
I think it'd probably just be like. And we talked, I remember a lot of people were talking about like when it was first, the trailer first came out for the Switch Lite, we're all like, this is appealing towards people who don't have a Switch, but like, what if that is the thing though? Like you genuinely maybe can't afford a whole other system. You're like, wouldn't have been cool to buy an adapter, but again, the internals aren't there and paying someone to do it, it's.
Let's say they release, let's say they release something you can buy to do that, or some other third-party company does, and let's say at minimum it costs $50, right? Then you're paying $250, and a Switch is $300. Just save up $50 more. Just okay, I won't buy it this month. I'll wait another month and get the full Switch. That's just my reasoning.
I think also people who are giving us gifts or something, or maybe like parents.
That's a different story. Yeah, that's I feel like that was gonna appeal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a two-part question because you guys have actually disassembled it. So I'm an idiot. I'll fully admit I don't understand tech. I love playing. So is there no way at all that you could create a program inside this that would actually output through the port? Because I know that people hack the PSP to output through its USB. Is that not what this is? Could I not have any of these ports become a video out?
No, it won't work. Unfortunately, they removed the chip that would actually figure out how to put video out. That would combine data and video. That unfortunately, that chip's gone.
Okay, and that's why the PSP could, is because the PSP already had that programming. They just switched the port it's going out. So that makes sense. Okay. Well, because I was thinking that if it was possible, then that totally makes sense of it'd be interesting if they did after they sold 10 million of these. It'd be interesting if they, afterwards they release a special way of doing it after they sell 10 million of them.
Yeah, but maybe they have that. They have their hybrid, and then maybe they'll make their console only Switch. So there you go. Never know. I think they're system only.
I mean, after we all kind of agree that this is the 3DS killer.
I assume that this is 3DS killer. Yeah, I assume that would be the Pro, the console only. Yeah.
If the second I grabbed this out and felt it and looked at it, and I looked at my 3DS, I said, "What's the difference?" This is it. This is the next evolution. If I want to travel with a handheld system that's a portable one, this is it. And I don't know. I feel like if you're getting a Switch Lite, you should go into it knowing that this is that version of it, the portable one you take everywhere. You're not planning to put it into a TV. You're planning to always play it in your hand. And I kind of like it. It's smaller. It feels smaller. It looks smaller. It's exactly what it is to me. It's just a 3DS 2.
I made mine the RPG machine. I just installed all my RPGs on it, and then I installed Lumines or Lumines because I love the puzzle games. Because I was like, okay, I'm treating this like a Game Boy now. This is just my Super Vita. I don't care.
Are you gonna be playing Pokemon serious on the Lite then? Is that where that's gonna be? You're gonna play it on your TV?
I wish I could. The problem is for work stuff, I have to keep it. Honestly, if I wasn't recording footage, everything would be on this now. This would be my only Switch, and I'm dead serious about that. But since I have to record footage, stuff like Pokemon, I'm going to have to play through on the TV, even though I wouldn't actually want to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty much for me, it's games I want to stream. I would keep it on the actual Switch and then use everything else that I really don't care that I can play in bed and not worry about having to have footage covered for would be on the Lite. But that makes me wonder, if they're not wanting to call this the 3DS replacement, though, does that mean they might have something else in mind? or are they just saying that it's not, but they know it's gonna kind of?
They just don't want to admit it's dead.
Yeah. Well, so Nintendo, when they came out with the Game Boy Advance, claimed the Game Boy wasn't dead. When they came out with the DS, they claimed the GBA wasn't dead. It's just a thing that Nintendo does. Is they're not like Sony's weird. Sony will have like an official meeting where they sunset stuff. Nintendo just basically chooses to consider it like
it's kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because they still want any extra residual sales to come through, so they're not going to officially disavow and say, okay, the 3DS, it's done, no more games, we're canceling it. They're just like, oh yeah, it exists and there's games on it. Go ahead and get it. We're not going to take it out of
we're taking Lassie the 3DS out back.
Well, the Switch still isn't cheap enough, I think, to replace like the 2DS. 2DS is $80. MVG just bought one the other day for $40.
Yep. Labor Day GameStop sale.
There you go, man. See, and it still plays most of the library. There's like what, 8 games it doesn't play, or 5 games or something it doesn't play, which includes Minecraft. So, I mean, hey, something.
Then what's the point? Why buy it? Christmas.
Kids,
you can't. You have to. If you can't play Minecraft on a 2DS, you can't get a 2DS. Okay, that's just.
I mean, there's still Mario though.
Well, you can't technically.
Yeah, but that's not Minecraft.
But it's
you can
still
play
Pokemon.
Minecraft on a 2DS. The new Nintendo 2DS can play Minecraft.
Well, but then you have to spend more than $40 to $80.
Well, look at this way, Jordan. They'll probably run some sale around Christmas time, and let's say you got 5 kids, and they all want their own, and they're younger, and they all want their own little game system because they see you playing your stuff all the time.
They ain't getting anything. That's too many kids. I can't afford.
Listen to this dad over here. This is dad.
But $300 will get everybody there a game, and it'll probably come with Mario.
Or that's why have kids and buy everything for yourself.
Okay. It's true. I have these thousands of games and I wear condoms, so these are gonna stay mine forever.
Condoms break, by the way.
But that's why they still exist, because they're super cheap. I don't know when the Switch will get that cheap. Maybe in like 5 years, and they'll say it's not dead yet and keep it going.
Well, I think the Lite will drop down to like $179 once the 3DS is completely gone.
Yeah.
Once it's gone from stores, that Switch Lite is dropping in price a little bit.
I could see that. That would be that would actually make a lot of sense if they get it there, especially if they introduce eventually like a console only Pro or something, which seems to be the new thing now because the Lite exists. That'd be interesting. So we have State of Play. Max, you were really excited for this.
Oh yes, I'm
excited too, because I think it's gonna be good. But
I think it's gonna be all Last of Us. 100%. I think it's gonna be all Last of Us.
About damn time, in my opinion.
State of Play, September 24th, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And they did say don't expect any updates related to our next gen plans in this episode. So
yeah, I saw that. I
assume it's although people were still looking on Twitter and they were like, wait, there's like 5 people running in from the side there. That means PS5. I don't think they're gonna do anything like that. I think they'll talk about the PS5, I think, in February. So we still have a little while.
They may tease a slither of something at the PlayStation Experience at the end of the year. Maybe.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I could see them bringing like developers on. Remember how last time they did it, they brought people on stage and they talked to them. I could see them bringing people on stage and like be like, hey, what do you think of the PS5's SSD and all this stuff, and then they talk nonsense for like 15 minutes, then they leave the stage. I get something like that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they revealed the PS5 in some capacity at PSX. Like, if they gave it a name or something, I don't think we'll see a box until 2020. But I do feel like they're probably going to try and put that piece on the board now that Microsoft has.
They could show another.
Do you think they're going to name the next PlayStation?
Well, I don't know if it'll be called the 5. I do think that they may just
change
the PS. I just feel like sequential numbering
they can't pull
is
an
not as popular. Here. Look, one of the lowest profiting movies is, of course, Friday the 13th Part 5. So they're just
that's why, of course. That's their reasoning.
So what do you guys think is going to be shown here? I keep hearing Last of Us 2 because they keep teasing it. They've tweeted like 18 times around it. So
Neil Druckmann showed that it's not just a separate event. It's part of State of Play, which I think they're gonna do like a Smash Brothers thing where it's gonna be like, okay, and now the rest of this is just all Last of Us stuff. But I think what we're gonna see, yes, I think we're gonna see a quick like, hey, don't forget, Medieval's about to launch. I think we're going to get maybe an update on Ghost of Tsushima.
Nobody sleep on Medieval. It looks good.
Really?
$30. It went. Didn't it? I heard it just went. gold.
It went gold.
Yeah.
I have no hype for it. I beat it back in the day, and I thought it was okay. It was kind of silly, but to me, there were so many better, like, cool, quirky action adventure games that time period. Like, I wish that they put that money into something like Brave Fencer Musashi, like a funnier, cuter game. Personally.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I think I think we are going to officially get the release date.
I think that's
for Last of Us.
The word is February for it.
Yeah, the end of February, because of the collector's edition images and dates that got leaked online. Even if they're real or not, I think that's what I've kind of had it pinned at since they kind of confirmed it wasn't this year. Yeah, that's all I really care about. I mean, like, it'd be dope to see anything over Last of Us is just extra. I've just been waiting to see anything on Last of Us 2. Every time they give us just a little bit, I'm like, this game looks incredible. It sounds incredible. These visuals are great.
Here's what you do, Jordan. Okay, they gotta announce that Ape Escape game. Okay,
it's they have to. I know for a fact they've been working on it.
They gotta announce it, and then they gotta shadow drop that Final Fantasy VII demo. Oh, that's how you do it, right?
You gonna shadow drop it this early?
You do it right away. It's the one from E3.
Well, of course, yes, okay, bro. We had the Final Fantasy 15 demo 2 years before it came. Give me that FF7 demo, baby. We had like 15 demos.
Final Fantasy 15 wasn't really anything from 15, though.
Yeah, Brett, it was 4 dudes spending time in a tent. Okay, that's what I wanted. All right. It was Brokeback Mountain with magic.
Well, you say the movie didn't have magic?
But that would be awesome, though, if we actually got a something playable for Final Fantasy VII Remake. That would be amazing. Just to finally see like the battle system and everything in person and all that. I mean, people have already played the demo, so that would be like an E3 and everything. That'd be.
What if we got a demo of Death Stranding?
Can they do that? Are they allowed to do that?
A demo.
It's gonna be. I was gonna say you just hold circle to P. You just P and credits.
Okay, that's something Kojima would totally release. He'd just be like, "Here's this game."
Death Stranding DLC. Now you can poop.
Finally, it's full on APR defecation.
Listen, y'all.
The number 2 DLC.
I like the idea of that though. That would be good at MVG, especially if like you're something carried over from it to the full game for you too.
The question is whether or not the demo is in the second half of the game, which is supposedly the good part.
Yeah, I know. 50% through and the game gets better or something. That was so strange, but that means people are going to play that game for hours apparently before they really get grabbed by it.
Well, does it mean like you actually can't speed through it? You know, like if you wanted to, like, is speed running not going to be? Like,
it sounds like we're going to be
calendar basis or something.
It sounds like we're basically going to be confused for the first half of the game, and then things are going to start making sense, and I guess then it starts getting interesting.
First playthrough, though, right? Like, obviously, like, and then you play it again a second time. Like, how is that going to vary? That's what I'm interested in. Like when they said that.
Wait, you want to play through the game the second time?
I hope it's confusing.
I don't know. That's just the
in
thing.
a good way. Like, it needs to be confusing in an interesting way, not confusing like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing or what's going on. It needs to be confusing with like an intrigue when you watch a TV show or a movie that has a mystery and you're like, okay, I don't know what's happening, but I'm learning stuff. I'm interested. What does this mean? Not like, I could pee on a rock. That's all I know. Like, you need to
a mushroom brew.
Did y'all did anybody get the true ending in Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker? The real ending?
No. What happens there?
So basically, you beat the game, you have a last boss, you get a conclusion, and you can just go back and start replaying missions and beating stuff and getting higher rank. You get like different objectives in those missions. You start finding these people though that are like hidden on the map that aren't supposed to be there and stuff, and you find these audio tapes and stuff that basically one of the characters is actually a bad guy and was a super spy all along, and you unlock the real last boss, and it's actually a huge big thing, and it's so cool, and it basically makes it where the second reveal makes the game 10 times better in my opinion, and because you have to just find it. Like, up until that point, it's like, there's the bad guy, there's the robots, you killed the robots, congratulations, you're Mecha Godzilla. This extra thing, I think it'll be like that, where you beat the game but you're figuring it out.
I think there's just a twist somewhere in the game, and that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, there has to be something he's not. Every time he speaks or shows off something or uses like that like side smile, like there's something. Obviously, he doesn't want to give away his work.
Yeah.
And all the people who are working on it know something's big because they're on Twitter defending it or they're very like praising of it. And obviously, if they only saw what's out there that we have, they'd be confused too. So they obviously, everyone there knows something is big in this game that shakes it up, which is why I think to a point Kojima is trolling, like we talked about last week. Like there is a point to it where I think like who in any game marketing who's how do you think Sony feels? Kojima comes out, yeah, the game's not going to be good, you're probably not going to like it until like 50% way through the game.
In his quote,
it sells itself though.
And that
Right,
quote is being taken out of context. That quote is being taken very out of context. He says, people describe it like the movie Alien, where at the start you're confused and lost, but about halfway through it, you understand it and you're having fun.
Right.
And I think that's what he means, is that at the beginning, you're having things that you latch onto and you're fixating and you're walking towards, and then about halfway through, you're like, oh, I am the P. Okay, that's what's going on.
but you know, people only read the headlines. So when all the headlines are like, oh, this game isn't good until 50%, I'm not going to like it until 50%, that's when the fun starts. That's not good PR, because you know how PR gets twisted. You say one thing, someone else spins it as another.
Especially since because I think they translated it even.
I was going to say, do we even know if the translation is correct?
You got to be careful. I didn't really put too much stock into that. I think at this point it's just time, because it's hard for Kojima because he doesn't want to spoil anything. I think we just need to like I've seen the gameplay. The game doesn't.
We just need the game to come out.
Yeah, we just need the game doesn't look fun, but I'll play it. But we just need the game to come out. But one thing that he did say I thought that was interesting, that I know that wasn't mistranslated, was that he said that at first, when he first started making this game, that the developers were against it. They didn't. They're like, what the heck? We don't want to do this. Like, this is dumb. Even like after they started developing it, but then after they kind of got into it more, and he was able to explain to them, he's like, they started to understand. So maybe that was what he was talking about with the whole 50% thing and all that. I think it was more of, if it was like in Japanese and like we were speaking natively to him, I don't think it would have come out the way that it did. But of course, it's going to come out that way. But I think that's kind of what he meant. It just takes a little bit of time to get going. But we'll see when it comes. I think, like I said, like you said, John, the game just needs to come out. At this point, it's been too long. It's 2016. Like, the game just needs to come out. Like, I'm tired of them talking about it and peeing all over the place. Like, just bring the game out, man. I mean, like, whatever.
So Death Stranding, and then we assume they finish up with Last of Us 2 with the release date. Last of Us Part 2 with the release date. Okay.
I think we're gonna get
20 minutes.
Big gameplay, big trailer, like some cool cutscenes in that release date. Like they're gonna leave it on a major cliffhanger, and then release date.
I feel like they need that though.
That's all I want, man. I don't honestly. Yeah, that's all I want for next year. So aside Cyberpunk, that's just Last of Us. I've been waiting for that game.
That'd be good. So it's gonna be. We think Last of Us is February. So I'm trying to think of the big selling games. Last of Us in February, Animal Crossing in March, and then Cyberpunk in April.
Yeah.
And DBZ Kakarot in January.
Oh yeah.
See, look at that.
I saw some of that gameplay.
That amazing box art too, man. That was quite possibly the best box art that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh man, they definitely didn't spend a lot of time on it. they went to Google image search and it was like Goku color transparent. All right, there we go. We'll use that spray right there. There we go.
I got that junior developer on that box art. That intern on that box art.
It could have been better. Like, I don't know how it's not a Super Saiyan on the front. It's a little strange, but that's
you did forget about a little game called Halo Infinite, by the way, for next year.
Oh, that's all the way at the end of the year. That feels like forever away right now.
Well, they're still, aren't they talking about there's going to be like 5 betas throughout the course of 2020, and they're called flights, and it's called the flight system. I don't know. I'll play 1 or 3 of the betas and then buy the game.
I'm part of like their insider thing, and they keep sending stuff. It's like, be ready next year for it, and it's like, okay.
Come here.
I'm really rooting for a 343 to do something finally with this series.
The airport. I thought your podcast. You want to come on camera, wave everybody?
Yeah, you're
moving.
Let me. I'm gonna say bye to them because I want to talk to you since I haven't seen you in a week. I'm gonna go. I'm running away right now. I want to say hi to my hot fiance. Sorry, I haven't seen her in a week. I love you, chat. Y'all have been great. Thank you. Everybody. It was nice meeting you, Miss Click, and Rax, good having you.
See you, dude.
Yeah.
Bye.
You go do your thing, Max.
Okay, cool. So state of play looks good there. We'll look forward to that. That's on the 24th, and that is Tuesday.
And they said they were going to change it up a little bit, from that kind of droney, monotone announcer they had last time. So hopefully that'll be a lot better this time.
Okay, I wonder if they'll put anyone on like screen. Will they? Because I'm trying to think if Shuhei could even be. I don't think he could do it. Maybe they'll have Sean Layton do it.
That'd be
Can we get some more Iron Man VR?
No,
I need more gameplay. That's all I
want. Yeah, maybe I feel like they got to put someone on camera, and Sean would probably be the best person to put on camera. I would assume.
I know the
anyway.
perfect host. The perfect host.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jeff Keighley. Has to be, right? He hosts every event now.
If Keely's on it, then Death Stranding is going to be on it in some fashion.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Right.
Oh man. Evan, do we have any other Discord questions? Or are we?
Kind of. It's not really though.
Okay, I'll go with that.
It's just kind of meh. Like, what's our stance on
the new? Read
new?
someone's question, they're gonna be like, "Oh man."
Well, we get these every week where it's like, do you think Nintendo will sue for the game that's basically a Zelda ripoff and come into the Apple Arcade? I think it's called Overhorn or something, or Oceanhorn.
Oceanhorn 2.
Yeah.
The second
Does
one?
it mean Genshin Impact?
Maybe.
What do you mean?
Genshin Impact.
Genshin Impact, I think, is the one.
There's one coming. Well, there's one coming to the Apple Arcade that looks a lot like it, and they used art similar to it and everything.
I've only heard of the first one. I mean, is it surprising though, really, that we were getting Breath of the Wild imitations though? Like, is it surprising?
There's a lot of games that are always kind of like a lot of other games. It's like riding that line. Like when you release, I keep using movie analogies, but it's the easiest way. You put a big budget movie in theaters. Other companies make a crappier version of it, throw it on DVD for $15, throw it at Walmart, and be like, and hopefully someone gets confused and buy that one. That happens with almost every. And not saying like Oceanhorn is like a rip-off terrible game. I'm just saying there's always clones or similar games. You can't really sue for that unless they're like Oceanhorn, Skyward Sword. Like they'd
probably have to use some sort. They'd have to get either really close, or they'd have to just like literally use Link in the game.
Right. They'd have to do something that literally translates to it being the same game.
Yeah, I think Impact is the only one where it's like you like wake up and you have no memory of where you are and you're looking for your
the story wouldn't matter. It's if they use the same assets. Like if they literally just use full-blown animations pulled directly.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but color palettes and stuff like that are more like, if anything, what is it? Imitation is flattery or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be I don't think you can't sue for something like that unless you can like there's actually like ripping the app.
Paladins can get away with Overwatch.
Sony'd be staring at Breath of the Wild like you climb stuff and you have a little circular stand bar appear. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even like Ubisoft with the towers and all that. Oh, you go up to a tower and it unlocks more.
How do you find the rest of the stuff in the map? That sounds familiar.
I love when they introduce that in every Ubisoft game. It's like, you see that tower over there? Well, they're transmitting radio signals. You got to climb it and then you got to touch it. And then you go to Assassin's Creed. Hey, you see that tall building all the way up there? You got to go all the way up there so you can
scare the birds away and then you can see stuff.
Another game comes out. Hey, you see something all the way? Just go up there. Get up. Hit that button. You want us to give you the whole map? No, you got to climb things. Every game.
Let me send me super chats before we finish up with Gears, which apparently are you in like Gears Town over there, Miss Click, with all the Xbox people?
There are a couple people. It's really interesting though. Like I'm seeing a lot of people that were like diehard Xbox for a while. They're holding off on a lot of things. Like there were a lot of really big Xbox fans that are holding off on Gears. I don't know. I guess because they've been doubting, and a lot of people I know that were super into freaking Borderlands, and they're holding off for the Steam release. Okay. They're not really wanting to branch out for some reason. I don't know. It's really weird.
Let me go over.
Very underwhelmed.
I'll go over the super chats. We'll come back to Gears 5 because we did get some sales information on it. It's kind of interesting with what Microsoft's going to be trying to do here soon. Juice Man Vaughn says, so nobody wants Star Fox Zero on the Switch.
No.
No, because we need a new Star Fox game. That is another remake retelling Star Fox 64. We need a new Star Fox game.
I want
There's a reason why they called it Zero.
In all honesty, Star Fox Zero is really not a bad game. The motion controls are really what fucked that game up.
Mm.
It's not bad. I just want them to go forward, please. It's been 20 years. It's been 20 plus years.
I mean, I count Assault.
we don't get a new one until we get F-Zero first.
It's still been a long time.
That's fair.
We need to new Star Fox move forward, please.
Let's just get Virtual Console. Okay.
Brian says next 2D Zelda, keep it traditional or pull a Breath of the Wild. Oh, you're talking about for like going to dungeon to dungeon and like the basic setup. I mean, they kind of pulled. It was close with Link Between Worlds because they did something different where you rented the item and you could technically do any dungeon you wanted in different order. They were close there, but I see what you're saying. Like they completely changed the formula. I like traditional though. I like it being like kind of that little Metroidvania feel to it almost.
I agree.
So would you say Link Between Worlds is the best balance in a way?
Yeah, I did actually like Link Between Worlds a lot. That was actually a really good game. Yeah, I guess the renting thing was weird at first, but then I got used to it, and I was like, oh, then I eventually get to just keep the item by buying it outright with rupees. It actually gave rupees a reason to really exist too.
Exactly.
So, I actually like that game a lot. That's a game I wouldn't mind seeing like an up-res port to the Switch. To be honest, that would actually be pretty cool. Dark Claw says in Before Goose is the last Smash DLC, a Sakurai's final and awesome mic drop. They could Goose could be like a trophy or a spirit, right OJ? There you go.
Chases people around, honks at them.
No, he's not even gonna be that. No.
Dude, if Palutena can have wings that come out and hit you, why can't Goose?
But Goose.
Come on, don't hate on the Goose.
All right, yeah, Goose DLC. There we go. I said
there you go.
Goose.
Oh, and then Dr. Claw said that they misspelled Sakurai's name, so they need to apologize. Okay.
How dare you?
Put some respect on Sakurai's name, please.
Cosmic Creeper says question for Spawn. Which do you think would be easier to entirely reshell, the OG Switch or the Switch Lite? I'm gonna say the OG Switch.
OJ Switch?
The OJ Switch.
My Switch in particular.
I'm going to say the OG Switch. Yes.
What was it in regards to reselling?
Reshelling. People don't like to do the front of their Switches, but you can. I actually did one and I recorded it and I forgot to turn the microphone on for it. So there's just stock footage of me changing the entire front out on it.
You just
talk over it and you can see here.
Yeah. I might do that. Just go back and do all that and cut the footage back up. But then you see me like pointing at things and explaining things and doing the hand motions and stuff.
We'll just clip those out. It'll be fine.
I think what I was trying to say here. No.
That the Switch Lite is going to be a nightmare for most people. So don't open it. I saw some people on YouTube and I was like, oh, cool. I put mine up. Let me go see what everyone else did for their teardowns. And no one looked at the screen, got to the screen. One person did, and I think they blew up the battery.
That guy that just wedged a screwdriver.
Someone was like putting on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh no!" It started smoking.
See the magic smoke come out of the battery. It was awesome.
Oh, what does this do?
Oops! blew up his hand.
Yeah, they just left the Switch on the table in pieces,
and they uploaded that.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably did he make enough money off of the video itself? Yeah. Buy another one.
Get the views back.
In the description, he's got like, if anyone wants to PayPal me a new Switch, link is in the description.
But yeah, I went down to the screen because I wanted to see if it was one from Sharp. It's not. It's Intelux, so it's a standard screen. But mine's already back together. I just put it back together to move it out of the way because I got those Daemon X Machina Joy-Cons in.
Oh yeah.
So I was looking at those. But yeah, don't take your light apart.
Yeah,
don't touch it.
It's rough. It's rough. I only took mine half apart, and even that was, it took me a long time to get it out.
Yeah,
I'm scared to take anything apart. I've been wanting to like at least try a shell, but I'm just like terrified in general for anything. My controllers.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, controllers. You could do the Pro controller isn't bad.
Right, Joy-Con. I wouldn't even touch Joy. I mean, I have the ones from Ubi, but yeah.
The Pro controller isn't too bad to do. Like the handles are very easy to change out. It's just like a screw each, but like the front of it's actually not bad.
Okay.
So that's what I would look into, something like that.
I just watch you do it. That's enough for me.
Vicariously live through you.
Yes.
That's pretty much
what it looks like on the inside.
Yeah, that's what it looks like on the inside.
So like, why am I gonna
Wait till that PS5 comes out.
Why am I gonna blow up my hand with the Switch Lite when I can just watch somebody else blow up their hand?
Yeah,
somebody else do something.
I'm the type of guy who would blow up my own battery. So
here's the thing about the
I'll
battery.
watch other people do it.
You don't even have to take the battery out. It's screwed to the frame, and the frame unscrews the 4 screws, and the whole thing comes out.
That's what was hilarious.
You still stabbed it.
You're trying to remove the battery out like it was like a cell phone battery or something. You didn't realize it was screwed.
It's glued. Yeah. If you have to take a battery out, use an old credit card or an old gift card that you can actually get like completely under it.
Yeah.
And then just slowly wedge it up.
Would a Pokemon card work? Because I have plenty of those. Plenty.
Well,
it needs to be a little more durable.
Does that mean you need to apply a stickiness of some sort to put it back together? Is it gonna like jingle around in there afterwards?
A lot of times, it's if it's not a super old system, it'll still go back in because it's just a sticker.
Well, it turn it into a Maraca.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't put it back on, yes. If you don't put that on there, otherwise you can get some 3M tape, double-sided 3M, and just stick it. It's fine.
Okay, fair enough.
Batteries don't actually weigh that much, so they usually don't roll around too bad in there.
All this sounds complicated. I'll keep mine sealed.
Hey, that's what Evan and I used to do all day, is that kind of stuff.
It was never fun, but it was always great.
Yeah. Strawman says, do you think we'll get a Rayman trilogy?
I hope so.
Well, one day.
I mean, why not? Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm cool with them just continuing in the vein that they have been. Like, the new games are great.
A remaster like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, they continued on there. So like make it look way better and everything like that. That would be cool. I'd be curious if Ubisoft would put the money in for that though. Like, do they think there's enough stock left in Rayman to do?
They don't. There's no towers in the game. They can't.
That's actually an issue. Is Ubisoft is very, very much into like the service based stuff or the Toys to Life stuff, as we saw.
I mean, they won't even do Splinter Cell, so there's no hope for Rayman.
Yeah, they actually said they're trying to figure out how to get Splinter Cell to be like a service based game. Basically, they're trying to figure it out. And it's like, put Splinter Cell out.
Didn't they just do a new Rayman on the Apple Store?
Yeah, but I'm sure. I bet you there was some kind of deal with Apple, and they're like, yeah. Let's
I already can figure out what they probably have thought to try to do with Splinter Cell. So back in the day, Assassin's Creed had multiplayer, right? And you would be kind of disguised as no one would know if you're an assassin or a regular NPC rocking around, and your goal would be to kill the other assassins and kind of see who's the odd one out. And if you get an assassin, great, you get points. If you kill a random civilian, that's bad, and you get your cover blown, basically.
So here's what's gonna happen
with the spies.
Here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna put out a single player and a multiplayer. So it's gonna be Splinter Cell, but there's gonna be the online multiplayer and stuff. They're gonna put an obscene amount of microtransactions in the multiplayer, right?
100%. Yep.
And then they're gonna give us an experience booster for faster leveling in the
that's every game.
Well, they've even in Assassin's Creed back in the day, they've made it so that you can buy cool gadgets for single player to enhance the playthrough, and you can do crazier things. Like they used
that's Assassin's Creed that came out.
Yeah, they did like Tesla grenades and all that stuff.
Like $10. It was like $15, and you get a level boost up that literally every XP you get now is like multiplied, so you can level up fast. And
feels bad, man.
There's always stuff like that. It's Ubisoft. Oh, you can play a game, sure. It's just gonna take 30 hours, but we'll call it 15 if you give us $10. Like that's the business model now.
Adam says, I don't know why this isn't working. 5 D&D titles. Okay, all right then. Mega Nerd says, when asked about RPG games or gems earlier, how did OJ not mention Mega Man X Command Mission, also GameCube version for the win for the Game Boy Advance connection?
So that game's all right, but I mean,
I remember that game, man. That was. I think I got that for super cheap back in the day. I remember I played through it, and I was trying to tell myself it was an awesome game because it's Mega Man X, but it's a pretty basic RPG.
I mean, it's good, but there are a lot of Tokyo Mirage such a much better hidden gem than X Command.
You know what? If they come up with like a Mega Man X or a Mega Man Legends collection, they name it something else, and they throw that on there, that wouldn't be too bad. Like some with art, some has to do with like RPG adventure. That'd be cool. Andy Ackerman says, when will we see a large Spawncast group gaming session? So many games to choose from. We can do that at some point. Nate's all about Gears right now, but he doesn't want to play Halo. So you'll figure that out. Yep. Brennan says, I feel like Nintendo made the Lite undockable because they don't want the OG Switch to become irrelevant. They still want to sell the premium $300 version. Sucks and feels anti-consumer. There we go. Oh well, they want the Lite to be cheaper. That chip they took out, and probably a lot of the accompanying stuff with it, probably saved them some money because apparently they were really trying to get that price down. So also they want to be different than the current Switch. So, Adam says 3DS ports you want for Switch. Bravely Default /2nd. I said Link Between Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I want a new Bravely. I mean, they can leave the 3DS games behind. Give me a new Bravely Default. I don't want to go back to I 110%ed each one of those Bravely Default games. Give me something new, please.
Icarus Uprising.
Oh yes.
That works because that game's horrible on the 3DS. The controls are the game is amazing. The game is absolutely amazing, but the controls are so bad on the 3DS.
Jermaine.
Metroid game. I'd take the Metroid game.
Okay, yeah, you know what? That would actually be pretty cool, especially if they like.
Samus Returns, you mean?
Yeah, the most recent one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be. I'm surprised they.
Wait, do you mean Federation Force? I love that game. That's my favorite one.
Listen, I never assume.
Oh man. Jermaine says, "What would the sequel to The Last of Us be called?"
The more of them.
They said there is one more of us, is what they said. Yeah, because I guess it's technically The Last of Us Part 2. Huh,
so that means Part 3?
Part 3. There you go. Sony's pretty good with their naming. You know, we're up to the PS5. It's just going to be called the
They're going to call it PlayStation Part 5. Can't wait.
It's just going to be the P5. The 5 is just going to look like an S. Go back to the PS. Yeah. That'll be it.
Whoa.
Persona. Yeah, I was gonna say because they can't. Persona 5 is gonna be like kind of blended in at that point.
Sonny Holland says, "Hey guys, I loved your YouTube videos." Thank you, Sonny.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And then Adam says both BG's Planets, Planescape, Icewind, Neverwinter, and that says 150.
What?
For 150, it says both Boulder Gates, Planescape, Icewind, Neverwinter, $150. What it says from Adam. I guess if you buy like all of them together,
that's the bundle price.
I mean, I guess maybe they're all separate games. You just buy them all together. It's all added up to that. Let me real quick. We're gonna finish up with Gears 5 real fast. Sales for Gears 5 seemed pretty low in the UK, which was interesting. A lot of people commented that it was like a quarter of what Gears 4 sold there physically. And a lot of people are just saying that it is Game Pass and that Microsoft is completely fine with Game Pass taking over. Because then they reported that 3 million people had played Gears 5 on launch week.
People were trying to spin this into this is Xbox dead. See, look, nobody's buying. Like, really? Like, that's the first thing. Like, really, people are trying to spin. It's obviously Game Pass that's stopping people from. This is what Microsoft wanted to do from the beginning, though. They wanted all this digital crap to take over physical media, and it's happening. And now people are trying to make excuses like, "Oh no, it's like no, this is what's happening. Digital."
They want to be a service. They want to be a services.
Yeah, it's a service. Game Pass. That's the reason why. There's no other. If there wasn't Game Pass, the physical sales would have been as much or right around or higher.
Game Pass is the best service that we've all ever used, and we love it.
Is there a price on that card? Can we talk about the pricing of it?
It's $2 for 2 months of Ultimate. Wow, that's a steal, if you ask me.
Thanks, Jordan. Checks in the mail.
Anytime.
I think if it wasn't for Game Pass, you're right. It would have done much better, OJ. But I mean, we'll see on the MPDs. Remember, Sea of Thieves still topped the MPDs, or was like right there at the top from what I remember, even though Game Pass was around. But now I think they've signed up a ton of people to Game Pass.
Game Pass now is
everybody has Game Pass.
From where Game Pass was when Sea of Thieves launched compared to now, it seems like it's even been more like with the Game Pass Ultimate. Now you have like there's what they're doing with PC and like what they're doing with they're really aggressive with the promotion of Game Pass. Like to me, it seems like even though it wasn't that long ago, it does seem like it's like night and day in terms of how they're marketing Game Pass and what's going with it. You know, people signed up.
It's so weird down here though. Like I feel like so many people are like, at least from here, the Xbox players, they haven't taken the jump to digital because they liked the physical. But even then, like I feel like they didn't like the marketing for Gears 5 a lot, which I can somewhat agree. Like there were some weird things that they had at E3 and whatnot. It was just like, okay, this is a weird trailer. But I just think it's interesting because like the only people I know that have Game Pass, their brother actually works on Halo. So it's like they're kind of already like, I guess, patriotic about it, I guess you could say. But it's like down here, people still want physical. But the marketing for physical was like, it wasn't enough to go out and get it. You know what I mean?
You
So
have
it
to
was
weigh
really
the
weird.
options. It's like, of course I want physical, but it's like, okay, that's $60 at minimum for the base copy.
Exactly.
Or I pay $2 or let's say if it was regular price, $15, right? To get it early, like to get the gears like a few days early. $15 for not only Gears Now, which is a brand new $60 game, but hundreds of other games.
Yeah,
like that's it's like a no-brainer. It feels like.
Yeah, it's just interesting seeing like people saying like the advertising for it was subpar versus people just being like, it's digital.
Oh, I know. I also agree though that Gears 5 had up until right before its release had one of the worst advertising campaigns I've ever seen for a video game. You didn't know what the game was until
literally
literally right before the game came out. Oh yeah, by the way, it's going to have open world elements. It's actually going to have a full story. Look, we're going to show off the campaign a month before release. Finally, guys, look, there's a campaign. Like, great, you finally showing us what the game is about. So
it's but even if, especially if you do Game Pass, with how these games depreciate super fast. Like I wish Control had been on there because I bought it and then like a couple days later it was like $40 or something. I mean, you can play it, right? And then like 3 months from now, Gears will probably be half off. So
it'll be half off for holiday.
Yeah, Black Friday. It'll be 25.
Ricky Morales here knows. See. From Los Angeles. There you go. See. I want to go to read the rest at some point.
Okay.
I mean, it speaks for itself. Yeah.
Apparently, it's the coolest way I've ever seen the "from" spelled.
Right.
I don't know who this. I don't know who the Spawnware guy is though, but. All right.
he's
my favorite YouTube channel is Spawnware.
He's the other version. He's in Los Angeles. I met him
that just reminds me. I feel like that'd be like the competitor to LimeWire back in the day or something. Spawnware.
How old were you when LimeWire was a thing?
I was alive, God.
You were like 7 when LimeWire was kicking. Like, wait, what?
Listen, we don't gotta put an age tag on me. All right.
I ruined so many computers because of it.
That was when the Sims first came out, the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Now we all feel old. Let's B Rob says super late. Damn it! Look at all these guests. There you go. All the guests.
We had more.
Okay, this is the least amount of guests we have.
All right.
Well, we're more guests. We're half guests right now compared to.
Sorry,
we
had for you, Evan.
We had a lot more people earlier, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, cool enough.
Let's go around here before we finish up. Miss Click, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on YouTube as Misclick Gaming. I am now on Twitch as Misclick_live, but please just call me Misclick. I swear if you say the whole name, I will cut you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And this is Tack. He's here with me. So yeah.
She was on the front page of Twitch the other day. So there's like 9,000 people in your stream.
Yep.
Dude, yeah, we almost hit 10.
Jesus.
Wow.
Pretty cool. I think I surpassed Summit at one point.
What were you playing?
Nice.
We were playing Link's Awakening. Nintendo they reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, would you be down for this?" I'm like, "So would I be down?" And then Spectrum's like, "No." And I'm like, "Yes." So I was like biting my nails the whole week.
Very cool. And what about OJ? Where can they find him, man?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube. Just uploaded a cool video talking about the Nintendo Switch Lite. Got a review and a comparison. Gonna be working on a lot of cool stuff. Nino Cooney. I'm gonna be doing some more impressions of that. So if you want to know how the Switch port of the game actually holds up, gonna be doing that. Gonna be doing some cool giveaways and stuff. Got a Smash Brothers tournament that I'm really looking forward to doing this upcoming week. So yeah, and a bunch of cool videos, like regular edited videos as well, talking about some stuff. So yeah, check out the channel. We do videos every single day.
Oh, Matthew,
just Player Essence. Just find right here. YouTube Player Essence. Yeah.
Matthew, I see you here. He let me know he's on Streamlabs. What game would your younger self not believe is coming out on a cartridge for a Nintendo console? It would have been like a Final Fantasy, like an old Final Fantasy, and then it probably would have been like a Doom. We're past all that. What game would your younger self not believe is coming out on a cartridge for? Would have been Crash Bandicoot. Well, that's done. Halo. I'm gonna go with Halo. And yeah, I'm gonna go with Halo.
I would have never thought Crash.
We'll leave it at Halo. I'm not
My younger self, Crash, dude. Like that was PlayStation back then.
Yeah, but I'm like that's already happened. I'm like thinking of something that hasn't happened yet that could happen. Well, I'll leave it at Halo, I guess. Yeah. Crash is another one though, man. I'm telling you. Crash is tough. Yeah. B-Rob, I got Spawn to say a swear. There you go, B-Rob. Thanks. It's after 11 o'clock though, man. You know, it's
What's
like
swear?
The after hours.
What'd you say?
Spawn after dark? No.
I said damn, like the barrier that holds up water.
Spawncast at night.
I didn't pronounce the I didn't pronounce the N though, so it's like the barrier
The dam,
that
like the
holds up
dam.
water.
Like the dam. Yeah. It's
There you
true.
go. Rax, what about you, man? When's your channel coming back to life?
Tell us how you really feel.
Man.
Hey, Rax knows, man. I
He's trying so hard, dude. I mean,
Yo,
he's already
it's
down,
so funny.
man.
'Cause it's
Hey,
so funny.
Rax knows I'm on him about it.
Yeah, listen.
I'm on him about it all the time.
Me and John know it's good.
Yeah, I'm on
Nah,
Rax all the time about it, man.
Yeah, no, I need
on that channel.
that good swift kick in the ass sometimes. No, I once I get some things like figured out at work, like obviously my job is priority. If I were to ever to have an opportunity to take YouTube full time, obviously I wouldn't have these issues. But you know, when it comes to priorities, I got to put my priorities first. So we will be getting back to making some content. I have been doing a lot of thinking, but the time off has been really refreshing, and you know, I've got some plans. So if you guys want to come hang out with me on my channel, you can also follow me on any of this social media here. Right now, you can see I'm taking a lovely vacation at the beach. If anybody wants to come join me, too bad. It's a one-man island.
That's the stillest water I've ever seen. And
Are you
no
doing
wind?
you doing a stream for Link's Awakening?
Nah, I don't have time, man. Like I haven't even cracked open my copy. Like I wanted to finish Gears first. I've been on this thing where I want to finish one game at a time. I finished Gears last night, so I'm gonna crack that open once the podcast is over with. Actually, you know what? We might do a stream for Link's Awakening.
Oh, there we go. See, I got him to do it.
You know
There we
what?
go.
If you're playing a game, you might
talked
as well
me into
stream
it,
it.
John.
There we go. See? All right. So yeah, make sure you check out Rax. Wait, are you streaming tonight?
No, I won't be streaming tonight.
Oh.
Quit pushing your luck.
Hey, I mean, you know, people might just go over to your stream, man. You know?
They would, but my friend Russ Lyman is streaming tonight, so go hang out with Russ Lyman on his channel.
There we go. We'll do that. We'll do that. Yeah, make sure you check out Rax whenever he does stream Link's Awakening. Wait, did you play the original Rax?
I did play the original. I had it complete in box, but then this ogre moved out of my house and she took it with her. So,
Nice.
Oh, God damn.
oh crap!
Yo,
I forgot I said that.
R.I.P. Fight Fiona. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, she's gonna hunt you down, bro. Like, she's gonna-
No, that's getting clipped.
Bruh. It's going to be a weird too many games next year.
What about Jordan? Where can they find you, man?
You can find me. You can find me on YouTube. I open up Pokemon cards daily, and I do a lot of other Pokemon stuff. We've been opening up. We got 2 of the rarest, most expensive, newest card out there. If you're not into opening Pokemon, give it a shot, because it's just me making jokes, opening cards, having a good time. If you're into that, I do it every day.
Could you say you're a joker?
You're a joker.
You're a joker.
What about MVG? What about you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer. On Monday, I've got a Switch Lite video coming out with my thoughts and impressions, including a teardown of the unit, and I'm also doing some overclocking tests with Link's Awakening to see if I can smooth out the frame rates.
Yeah.
If at the moment I'm kind of messing around with it. If there's something that's worth showing on a video, I'll definitely bring one out as well. So stay tuned for that if it actually succeeds, because I'm not sure if we can actually make it any smoother, but we'll see.
Okay. What about Evan?
You can find me on Twitter, Camerix Project. If I'm doing anything, any videos, any conventions, any projects, any streams, I'll just announce it there.
Okay. Cool. Oh, and then Zaire Miller said, "What happened to Beyond?" Oh, you've talked to me about Beyond Good and Evil 2, I think, a couple times, Evan. What happened to Beyond Good and Evil 2? Also, what do you think of the direction of the game? Personally, I'm really interested in. I'm interested in, I guess, the open world idea of it, because it sounds like they're trying to do a lot, but I'm also a bit concerned about how much they're trying to do with it. I also have no idea what they're doing with the story either. It's a little strange. But
Seems
I'm
perfect as a
curious.
games as a service game, though, so it should be good.
It does. It does. But I am curious, Zyra. I think we'll see it next E3. I think they seriously showed it to us, or at least the first trailer, when it was like in like the first quarter of development or something. So I think it's going to be a bit.
It's going to be one of those Ubisoft games, man. Go up the flagpole and find the waypoint.
Oh man, that'll be interesting. But that's gonna do it here for Spawncast episode 129. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you apparently next weekend. Nate's gonna be on camera, so
Yeah, should be fun.
apparently that's a reason to tune in.
It's gonna be good.
It'll be good.
And if you're on Twitter, make sure you annoy Rax so that he can make another video.
Yeah.
Maybe one a week, Rax, would be nice. Once a week, that'd be favorable.
Tell you what, Rax.
Tell me what to do, Dad.
Tell you what, Rax. The next time.
Wait, Dad.
Tell you what, Rax, the next time you make a video, Rax, I'll report on it in Newswave like it's like this big piece of news that happened.
Nah.
Yeah.
Aw, that'd be the best shout out.
I'll be like, Rax made a video.
Rax made a video.
That's your incentive.
And I'll edit in the
Swift
worst
chicken you
video
took
with
us.
you in it for that part. It'll be great.
Oh man.
Hey,
Thanks for calling me out in front of thousands of people.
see that's how you get it done.
I love it.
Yeah, that's gonna do it here tonight though. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll see you then.